10:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL preseason kicked off last night in Canton with the Hall of Fame game. A thriller as the Panthers walked it off with the Haynes King touchdown run to beat the Cardinals 33-30. King, the rookie out of Georgia Tech, finishing 21 of 34, 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Carson Beck showed out, getting the start for Arizona. The former Georgia and Miami quarterback, 15 of 19 for 188 yards and 1 touchdown. Meanwhile, Jahmyr Gibbs is now the highest paid running back in NFL history, just a couple of days after Bijan Robinson broke that record. Gibbs and the Lions reaching an agreement on a 3-year, $67.5 million deal that could be worth up to $75.75 million, $51.5 million in guaranteed money. This weekend, Nashville Soccer Club continues in the Leagues Cup group stage, taking on Mexican side San Luis at Geodis Park on Sunday night at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. Happy Friday. You made it. Looking forward to a great weekend. We had a great football game last night. Lucas had a concert, so had to recap it with the condensed version. Lucas, I will put aside my cynicism about the Hall of Fame game moving forward. I reserve the right to be surprised by Carson Beck and Haynes King, who put on a hell of a show last night between the Panthers and the Cardinals. 33-30 with a game winner by Haynes King. Ramon's been calling him King Hayes, which has delighted me. And the Carolina Panthers are able to win in Canton in walk-off fashion. It was a delight. 615-737-1045. The number, if you would like to get involved. I had no expectations. In fact, I was probably not looking forward to talking about Haynes King and Carson Beck today. And yet, they tell me and everybody else who was not interested in the Hall of Fame game or was loath to watch the Hall of Fame game to shove it. Because they put on probably, that may be the best preseason game I've ever watched, just from a pure entertainment value. Does it mean anything football-wise? Maybe.
Yeah, greatest Hall of Fame game ever. I mean, it has to be. I mean, that
prisoner of the moment.
Going back and watching it, that was insanity. And Carson Beck was fantastic for Arizona.
He was
composed, was just dropping dimes. 15 of 19, 188, 1 touchdown. Keaton Slovis wasn't bad either. So we asked the question the other day: is Carson Beck going to start? Hell, I think Keaton Slovis might start a game for the Cardinals this year.
How many quarterbacks will start a game for the Cardinals?
As many as they have. Ain't no way Jacoby Brissett is starting 17 games for the Arizona Cardinals. But Haynes King, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback performances were fun yesterday. And King doing King things.
Haynes King, the star of the show, 21 of 34, 180, 2 touchdowns passing, and then had the game winner in walk-off fashion, a rushing touchdown, because he couldn't let the old Haynes King completely go by the wayside. He had 3 rushes for 39 yards as well. Kenny Pickett for Carolina, who started that game, 8 of 11, 62, about what the Kenny Pickett experience has been his entire career. There was not much to see there. It was scoreless for, I don't know, I think we were about 10 minutes into the first quarter before things started to pick up. And the Arizona Cardinals got on the board. Carson Beck, 15 of 19, 188, and a touchdown. Had some really nice throws. Him and Haynes King. Collinsworth pointed this out. I remember Haynes King from Texas A&M. I don't remember watching a ton of Texas A&M while Haynes King was there. I do remember Haynes King at Georgia Tech. That offense, and I understand that the offense has changed, and what was the coach who was there for 100 years who's running the triple option offense?
Paul Johnson.
Paul Johnson. Paul Johnson's obviously not there anymore, but that's still not a pro-style passing type of offense at Georgia Tech, right, that Haynes King was operating in. Collinsworth pointed this out on the broadcast last night. I don't know if you picked this up on the condensed version that you watched this morning, but he was saying, this dude can make some throws here. He can make some pro-type throws. He's just not been asked to do it in his college offense. And that's always a curious thing. Again, will it have any bearing on the NFL regular season? It might for Arizona because of what you're saying is correct. We don't. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is paid like a starter. I think Jacoby Brissett at some point is going to miss some time, and one of these other quarterbacks will get an opportunity. So maybe Carson Beck does make a number of appearances for the Cardinals this season. But as far as Haynes King goes, I don't know that player can't be a quality backup in the NFL. He's the ACC Player of the Year, for God's sakes.
Yeah. I mean, talk about a gamer. Like, Haynes King is a lot of what, at the NFL level, we thought maybe the best case scenario of Pavia could be. Is that fair?
How bad does Pavia have to be to not even be on a roster?
I kind of hate that Diego Pavia is not on a roster right now because I wanted to see him ball out in the preseason. Like, I wanted to see that. Maybe we see it. Maybe injuries happen and Pavia ends up somewhere, but like no question. As of now, he's just floating, right? Diego Pavia, a better college quarterback than Haynes King. Sure. You could not convince me otherwise. But they have similarities. There's some overlap, I think, in their game with that edge that they play with. And it seems like for Haynes, it'll translate a little bit better. But I genuinely would love to see Pavia get a shot in a couple NFL preseason games. Like, I was always skeptical that he would be, a backup quarterback as a rookie in the NFL. But I'd like to see Diego Pavia running around out there like we saw Haynes King. Maybe we get that chance. Probably not. But fun start to the preseason, man. I hope we get some more of those scrappy second and third team QB performances.
Of course, in a week from now, less than a week from now, the Titans will go out to San Francisco. I assume they're still considering doing that, despite all the wreckage, that reckless speculation. The power plant is wreaking on the Niners roster as 20 players sat out of practice yesterday. There's only one day of joint practice for what it's worth. I think there's only one day of joint practice with all three of these teams. With San Francisco, and I can't remember the order, if it's Seattle-Chicago or Chicago-Seattle, as far as who the Titans are working against this preseason. But yes, we will have preseason football to talk about next week here locally. As far as the rest of the game goes, I mean, the quarterbacks were really the story.
Easily.
There wasn't really another player. I mean, A.J. Dillon was out there. That's a player that you recognize. You haven't heard much of A.J. Dillon. I don't know if he's going to make the Carolina Panthers roster. He wasn't the starter. He only got 3 carries in this game as somebody who was a former player of consequence for the Green Bay Packers a couple of years ago. There wasn't anybody from that you thought about. John Mechie was out there, which is good to see him still trying to prolong his NFL career after, I believe it was a cancer scare when he got drafted by the Texans, if I remember correctly, the former Alabama receiver.
Yes.
He had.
He did have, I think he was diagnosed.
And I believe he's been in remission for several years now. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Yeah, he's playing football. Yeah.
But he's out there playing football, so good on John Mechie. For continuing to prolong his NFL career. Beyond that, there wasn't anybody who really caught my attention of players of consequence, though. Again, some of these players will factor in the NFL season when injuries strike, because they always do. Some of these guys will be practice squad players. Some of these guys are fighting for roster spots. That's just the nature of preseason football. But it is a nice change of pace to be entertained by preseason football, and that is a rare enough thing.
So the next preseason football that we get is next Thursday, the day the Titans are in action in San Francisco. But there is a slew of 6 p.m., 6:30 games, 7 p.m. games that will start. We get Lions, Bengals at 6, Packers, Steelers at 6 next Thursday. So looking forward to it. Lions just paid Jahmyr Gibbs in a big way.
Are they all? Yeah, because Jahmyr Gibbs is going to play in the preseason. Are they on WKRN again? Does WKRN have all 3 preseason games, as they typically do?
I don't know what the deal is. I haven't seen anything different.
I assume Charles Davis and Paul Burmeister are still doing the games with Corey Curtis and stuff like that, but to be honest, I haven't asked. So we'll see what that looks like, and obviously we'll ramp up for that as things get going next week. I'm going to fly out to San Francisco on Monday after the show.
First one's on NFL Network, Zach says.
Okay.
First Titans preseason.
Did they do something to different to NFL Network? Because NFL Network is no longer on Xfinity. Because I thought this thing was on NFL Network last night, and then I turned over to NBC. Our first dose of Mike Tomlin on television.
I didn't really catch a lot of the Tomlin stuff. How was he?
He was fine. He's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin press conferences are more entertaining than Mike Tomlin on television, because anytime you can get Tomlin in a post-game situation, you're more liable to get the chest pounding and the owl eyes and all these different things. He had a walk and talk with Bryce Young before the game kicked off. It was a really cool thing that they did. And, because I'm going to get after the Titans marketing today, for the T-Rac stuff, which, again, we can talk about the actual importance of T-Rac versus a larger theme that I think it speaks to. But it was really cool to see the collective ice bucket challenge that the studio crew, Maria Taylor, Jason Garrett, Devin McCourty, and Mike Tomlin, they all had their old school Titans jerseys on and did the ice bucket challenge on the set. And then they proceeded to challenge the ESPN crew, the Fox crew, the CBS crew, and the Prime crew to do the same thing. So people continuing to keep the spirit of CJ2K's ALS diagnosis and the work that he is doing to continue to raise funds through awareness for ALS and ALS research. So really cool of the NBC folks to pull that off last night. You have something before I go to the phones?
Let's go to the phones.
Okay, 615-737-1045. You can also interact with the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you would like to get involved there, you are more than welcome to do so. I have many thoughts about the Purdue athletic director, the new Purdue athletic director, who comes to them by way of Vanderbilt. So I am looking forward to calling that person an absolute moron later on in the show. David is in Nashville.
What's going on?
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are y'all?
We're doing great. What do you got?
I would take a drunk Haynes King over Diego Babia.
What is the reason?
He's cold-blooded.
Hey, what you don't think? I mean, come on, David. You don't like whatever you think of Pavia's personality. You're going to tell me that guy isn't a competitor?
Yeah, but come on, Haynes King. Haynes King is cold-blooded.
Yeah, well, that's not really an argument because they're both cold-blooded that way. But I appreciate the feedback. Thank you for the call.
I mean, yeah, that's what Pavia is, right? He's the type of guy that there's a ton of people that cannot wait for him to finally fail, right? For him to, like, finally max out, I suppose.
Oh, really?
And not be able to go any further.
I think he's just annoying. Like, he's annoying, for sure. Unless he's on your team, and then you don't find him
that's
annoying.
how it works. People, you hate him if he's not on your team.
Can you be annoyed by him and not actively prey on his downfall?
Coming from you? Oh, suddenly
who am I annoyed by who I actively prey on their downfall? Who is annoying to me that I actively want them to fail? Who do you think that I actually want to fail, who I provide regular criticism
The
about?
Titans.
I don't want the Titans to fail. No. There are a lot of good people over there who I would like. In fact, for the locker room's sake, I'm so tired of seeing those miserable SOBs in the locker room after the fact look like beat dogs. I would love for them to have some success. So they make, frankly, selfishly, my life easier as far as postgame. No, I don't want the Titans to fail. I'm not rooting for them. I'm not rooting against them. But I don't want the Titans to fail because there are good people working over there. I think there are some people who make a lot of bad decisions over there, which we will talk about when we get to the marketing element of this later in the show.
Two important things today. Number one, it is Coach Mac's birthday.
Yes.
It's the day that we would typically have Coach Mac on the show.
Yes, indeed.
And we miss him every single day, but today is a great day to tell somebody to keep their powder dry or to just remember Coach Dave McGinnis. He would have been 75 today. He also shares a birthday, as we know, with Lee Corso.
Oh, Deshaun Watson. I actively pray on Deshaun Watson.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's a one. Because somebody said Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's true. It's absolutely Deshaun Watson.
Coach Corso turns 92 today.
Oh.
So happy birthday to Coach Corso as well.
Very good. A bunch of legends born today. Coach Dave McGinnis. It's just, I mean, we're not down on the practice field. I mean, I am on the weekends because we do the radio show during the week. And obviously we sit at a different vantage point than the vast majority of Titans media who are doing practice, who are down on the sidelines. We get to see actually more than the rest of Titans media because of our vantage point. Titans PR has done us a great courtesy by setting us up on the SeatGeek Terrace for the radio show. But every time I'm out there, Lucas, I feel like there's something less. And that's because I don't see Mac and I don't get the fist bump and I don't see this silver-haired figure all decked out in black gear with his transition shades, watching the defense from behind, from the back of the end zone, because, of course, that's Mac's favorite place to watch football practice because you can see the most, and all the great commentary that he and Rhett and Ramon had ongoing, and his time, of course, together with Mike Keith, that you just feel it a little bit every day. And you try not to make it a perpetual eulogy, even though that's what it can tend to turn into. It's just this little bit of sadness that sits with you, right? That doesn't ever go away because that person was such a Such a big figure in all of our lives.
I love passing by the media room in the facility and seeing the door to the OTP studio.
Makes me very happy.
Just a huge collage of Coach Mack pictures with the current broadcast team, with the former broadcast team, with people that work in the building, with fans, security guards, letters to Coach Mack. They did a great job putting that together. It's great to kind of get a glance at that every day. So happy birthday, Mac. We love you.
Absolutely. 615-737-1045, the number if you would like to jump in. How about Ethan in Mount Juliet? A lot of interest in Pavia this morning.
Yeah, I watched Pavia in college, and he's a good quarterback for college. He's a running quarterback. He can run that type of offense, but to sit here and think that he can compete in the NFL, I think is a stretch. We have people like Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow couldn't even do it.
Well, they made it to the regular season, right, Ethan? I mean, I think the surprise is that he's not even in a camp, right, where rosters are at 90 men.
Yeah,
Can you turn us down in the background? I really don't love hearing myself on a 20-second delay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, I just don't see him being able to compete at that level. The Ravens signed him and then dropped him. I don't see how he's going to be able to compete in the NFL level, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm proven wrong, but I just don't see that happening.
Again, I'm not having a conversation. Thank you for the call. I'm not having a conversation about Diego Pavia being rostered on a 53.
I'm surprised he didn't make it to the preseason.
That is where you see players that you have never heard of. He's the Heisman runner-up, okay? He can go out there and play football. It's not that much of a higher level than going to Texas and going to Alabama. And the competition that he's facing, these are guys from Akron and Rutgers. And you know, I'm not saying that Akron and Rutgers have a ton of NFL players running around out there. There's some Alabama guys and some Texas guys and some LSU guys and Ohio State guys, too, for what it's worth. But Pavia can be I'm stunned that Pavia is not on a roster in the preseason.
You know, Wikipedia lists his height at 5'6". I mean,
well, that's something that
he's
can be
not
public.
that small. Goodness.
I don't know that I've ever seen him in person.
I mean, I always saw him at the combine.
What are you, 5'8"?
He's 5'10". Like he and I are like about the same height.
You're not 5'10".
Diego Pavia is 5'10".
I think your hair that makes you look like you got electrocuted is giving you
5'10" and 3/4. Don't forget the 3/4.
Once you start having to use fractions, it means you're actually 5'9".
But yeah, he's definitely not 5'6". That feels disrespectful. But
again, I think that can be publicly edited.
We've talked about this. Pavia is a really good college quarterback. Like, that's okay. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. There are legends of the sport that never it came close to cutting it in the NFL. And that's what Diego Pavia is, and that's okay. At least he made some money doing it.
Owen says, are you going to be providing play-by-play coverage for the blue and white game today? So I guess that's what they're calling this Titan Stadium practice. I don't know what their plans are. I know 3HL's broadcasting live from Nissan. They're going to be where we normally are set up for the Titans pregame show, the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, outside of, I want to say it's Gate 3, which is the north end zone, so right there in the shadow of Eddie and Steve on that side of the stadium. So if you are going to the scrimmage tonight, make sure you stop by and say hi to 3HL. Lucas, you are not going. You have a date with the Buffalo River. And I am, of course, going to be out at practice as well today. So I don't know what. I'm sure the team has something in stadium planned for you guys. I'd be curious to see what kind of stuff they're trying out in stadium, because they fired their in-arena person, Dave Schindler, after several years of doing that job. So I don't know who they've hired in his absence to improve the in-arena product, because it has famously been dreadful for many, many years. But we'll see what that looks like. Perhaps we can get some additional information for you on that throughout the course of the show. We have more phone calls to take, and we have a number of different things to get to. Jeff Fisher is on the show today. Look forward to talking to the Titans legend himself. Austin Huff, Titans superfan, is on the show today because there's much consternation about the rebranding of the raccoon. So we'll get to that a little later on. We're finally going to play this Kevin Winston interview for you. Right, Kroll? We've got that all ready to go at 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir, we do.
Very good. Kroll is in for Robert today, who has been hunting, stingray? And several other kind of fish, Lucas, that I did not recognize in the chat. He's been sending us pictures of the beach and the crab honey holes that he is pilfering, and hopefully he finds some buried treasure with the metal detector that we got him while he is on vacation for his birthday. 615-737-1045. We'll get to more of your phone calls next. Robert Walsh is drunk on the beach, and he's in the chat for reasons that are beyond me. What are you doing? You're supposed to be fishing. You're supposed to be finding me 10% of whatever buried treasure that the metal detector comes up with. Why on vacation for your birthday with your fiance on the beach are you in the chat? Ridiculous. 615-737-1045. The number if you would like to participate. We do have more calls to get to. If you would like to participate there. We do have some calls on the T-Rac stuff. I largely have the T-Rac stuff blocked out for 11:20 and noon today, but if you would like to get in early on that and let your thoughts be known, I know that there are passionate thoughts about the mascot and perhaps a larger theme regarding rebranding the team that people seem to be fed up with, myself included, for what it's worth. 615-737-1045. The number is how you jump in. Back to the phones if you like. Somebody in the chat says, Robert is dedicated, Buck. Jesus. Stop shaming him for being here. No, I feel like we should shame him, Lucas. Like, what do you do on vacation? How many times do you think about the radio show when you're not here?
The exception was the Brazil trip because I had crazy FOMO that it was just World Cup stuff wall to wall and I wasn't here. But apart from that, I just check out.
Yeah, man. I think it's okay. You can check out, though. Robert is...
He loves this stuff.
He loves the Hall of Fame game, and I think your World Cup FOMO...
Yeah, like he has
your World Cup FOMO, he's dying to talk about Haynes King
I respect it. Yeah, he just has FOMO of not getting to talk about that awesome game. But we've got a whole season, bud.
It was fun, yes.
We're going to have a good time.
Many more preseason football games, and I am certain that they will not be quite that electric.
He just loves ball.
We appreciate it. Will is in Nashville.
Hey, Buck, I wanted to talk about what you were just talking about with Diego Pavia not being on a roster right now. Did you by chance see the YouTube video of John Gruden and him?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah. When he did like Gruden's, whatever they're calling it, QB camp.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
It was
awesome program.
Gruden does a good job with those.
I don't think anybody would ever want to take a chance on and give him a handout to be on a roster with him acting like that. I mean, he was talking like he should be the number one pick when he didn't even get drafted. I think it's ridiculous that he's even thinking about it. I don't think he deserves it. I think he's run his mouth way too much, and no anybody taking shots should give him a shot.
Thank you for the call.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people that don't love Diego Pavia can't wait to see his downfall.
Okay, but that fundamentally misunderstands what kind of environment you're trying to foment in an NFL locker room. You want the most amount of competition everywhere. He's not going to threaten. I mean, he was in Ravens game. He's not threatening Lamar Jackson's job. Jesse Minter is not going to look around and be like, you know what? This Lamar kid, I don't know, he didn't really play that well with a bad back. And these 17 other quarterbacks that we signed, they're not it either. I'm going to go with Pavia.
No, I don't think anybody.
No, nobody's saying that. But you want competitive fire. You want competitive spirit. What did Gus Bradley, you probably didn't hear this the other day at the podium. Gus Bradley, as a coach, is talking about we want to create a competitive cauldron for these guys. We want them competing at everything. What does he do if not compete? Yes, he's brash. And I understand that brashness is not a trait that endears him to people. It's okay if you want to see him humbled or whatever, but like, to say that the guy doesn't deserve an opportunity to exist on a 90-man roster, I think it's just malicious.
That's what the NFL is telling you. Is the NFL malicious about it, or is the NFL just doing it because of what they think of the player?
From the people that are calling us, telling us that Diego Pavia doesn't deserve it.
That's what it is, man. This is the dude that lost the Heisman and said F all the voters on Instagram. Like, that's the nature of the beast. It's that fire.
It's not like I like them
teammates and fans of him love, and that people on the other side of that want to see him fail. Like that, there's that very clear dividing line, and that's the nature of it with a guy like Diego Pavia.
I just think the people that balk at confidence, is he confident or is he arrogant? He can be both. But can you be confident without arrogance? Yes. I think it's Cignetti. What's the difference between Diego Pavia and Cignetti from a personality standpoint? Because I'm gonna torch this Purdue athletic director here in just a second, but I'm not completely ignorant to the fact that Cignetti basically did the same thing when he got the Indiana job.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? And I'm seeing the SEC people be like, oh, I can't wait for the humbling of Cignetti. He won a national championship at Indiana, you morons.
Who's saying that?
these SEC unfiltered accounts on Twitter and all these other things coming out of Big Ten Media Days a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Cignetti says brash things like that catch your eye, but, I think Pavia did.
How are you going to handle being hunted? I bought a bigger gun.
Yeah, but that's Pavia crossed an immaturity line.
Yes.
Which he's literally a college kid,
Yes.
but
He's like 20, 24, he's a grown-ass man.
It's funny how much we're talking about Pavia just because Haynes King balled out, but those two just inevitably get compared, I guess. But
Well, Haynes King's a better thrower of the football, right? Like, you watch some of the throws that he's making where he's layering it over defenders and stuff like that. And again, they're not highly schemed defenses that he's facing for Arizona last night, and Arizona may not even have the defensive talent with starters to be able to bother Haynes King that way. But like Haynes King was putting NFL throws on tape. I don't know that Diego Pavia can do that. The Ravens think he can't, which is why he's not there. Nobody else seems to think he can right now. So if it's an NFL judgment, fine. If you're just preying on the downfall of a guy because he talks a lot of crap, I think that's just, I think
it's sports, man. You're allowed to hate whoever you want to hate.
Sure, but it's also fair to consider that that is weak baby behavior from my standpoint. And people are saying that we need to switch T-shirts. I do love Sierra Farrell. I know you had a hell of a time at the concert last night. She wasn't there, was she?
No, I introduced you to Sierra Farrell.
Did you? I don't think that's true.
That's most definitely true.
My buddy came down from Evansville, Indiana. He said, "We're going to a concert tonight. Do you want to go at the Ryman?" And
you had never even heard of her, and I sent you a song, and you were like, "This is amazing." And then y'all went to the show, and you had a great time.
I don't remember it that way.
Dude, the Black Keys show last night at the Pinnacle.
Had a good time.
Top 5 best shows, best sets of easily. Now, I'm biased. I love the Black Keys. They're one of my all-time favorite bands.
And you love who else they brought out.
They brought out Marcus King, and then they brought out Sturgill Simpson to do Heard It Through the Grapevine. Like the CCR, Heard It Through the Grapevine. Oh, my goodness. I mean, when you go to a show and it feels like the set list was just perfectly curated for you, every once in a while that happens, and that was me last night. Just perfect, no notes. Thank you, Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney, for being you and doing what you did last night.
How much better does the Pinnacle make it, though? Because
Pinnacle's awesome.
I've only been to one show at the Pinnacle. It was with you. We went to the Jack White show, and that was amazing. But it wasn't a bad scene. And then I've been to the Pinnacle again for the they did the Titans uniform rebrand reveal there, which is a different thing. But as far as shows go, a lot of positive feedback on just the experience that the Pinnacle creates.
It's fantastic. I mean, it immediately is one of the best venues in Nashville.
I'm curious to see this new one over in Wedgwood, Houston. The Truth is supposed to be a similar size, so I hope they've kept the same aesthetic approach, which is there's just not a bad seat in the house. 615-737-1045 is the number. Jonah says, "I'm surprised Buck likes Sierra Farrell." No, Sierra Farrell is excellent. Listen, I'm all over the place with musical taste. Don't try to put me in a box. I like bad music. I like good music. Mary Claire is in Bellevue.
Hey there. Thanks
Hello.
for taking my call. I wanted to chime in on the Pavia conversation. So I'm a lifelong Vandy fan. I'm going to preface it with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe Pavia is a great quarterback. What he did at Vandy was awesome. However, as far as the passing thing goes, I don't know that he would have had as many successful passes in the NFL had he not had Eli Stowers there to save his butt. I think Stowers kind of helped make Pavia. I don't think you can really talk about Diego Pavia's success without mentioning Eli Stowers. Well, he's not the only target that he had. It was clearly his favorite. It was like a Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown kind of thing in 2021. It's like you can't really talk about one without the other.
I think that's an excellent point by Mary Claire. Thank you for the call.
It's a good point, but I have a hard time taking anything away from Pavia about it. Like Johnny Manziel had Mike Evans. You know what I mean?
It's a team sport, right? But Manziel on the field. I know Pavia gets Manziel comparisons from a behavioral standpoint, even though I don't think that's completely accurate because it's not like Pavia was I know he had the bottle service thing after the Heisman.
He wasn't like
he's not a druggie and a drunk.
Yeah, in your face partier.
And I know that sounds harsh about Manziel, but I mean that's kind of the truth.
No, but the Venn diagram, there's a ton of overlap there in their play style, the brash nature of things, the way it doesn't translate to the NFL.
But Manziel was the higher evolved version. You would agree.
Oh,
that's a first round draft pick again.
Johnny Football was a
by
supernova.
The Browns still, but that's a draftable player.
I feel like that bottle service moment, everything has been downhill for Pavia since then. Like, that was the turning point.
Good. Don't speak evil on my boy's name. Get out of here.
Who?
Mendoza.
Oh. Wait, what does he have to do with anything?
Because he was savaging the voters and dismissing the Heisman and all these different things after the Heisman vote. Is that something that we don't talk about enough with Vanderbilt, though? Like, as far as their football continuity? Like, we've talked a lot about losing Pavia. Stowers is significantly.
Yeah, we talked about that literally the other day.
Yeah. I mean, but just generally, do you feel there was enough discourse around Eli Stowers not being on that roster?
Not at all. I mean, it's Junior Sherrill, and then they got to break in a bunch of other guys in terms of pass catchers this year.
615-737-1045, the number if you want to participate. Jonah is in Nashville next.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Hey, man, I know y'all aren't quite getting to the T-Rac stuff, but...
We will eventually. Go ahead.
Yeah, just chiming in on it. First of all, I mean, dude, it's for the kids. Like, I think they rebranded it, directed it to the kids. I get it. When I was a kid, I did all the kid stuff and loved T-Rac. Like, grown men freaking out about it. It's kind of crazy. But just kind of chiming in, I'm an Ole Miss fan. Went down there, and, of course, we've had, like, 3 mascots in 10 years. And, obviously, the original mascot changed.
You've had some hurdles to work through on that front.
Yeah, and then, we tried the bear thing. People didn't really buy into that. The shark, I thought the shark was cool. People thought the shark was corny. But just as an Ole Miss fan, something I noticed last year is, what no one was worried about was the mascot. Because when you're winning games, no one cares about the mascot. So, yeah, I mean, I get, symbolism, nostalgia, whatever, of T-Rac, but just win games. Like, if we win games, no one's going to care.
That is always the answer. No, thank you for the call. It is the correct point. My issue with it, and I'll talk about this later on in the show, is that there's an erasure going on of new Titans versus what they want to be and who they're trying to get versus the people that are being forgotten here. T-Rac is a small part of that, even though there is nostalgia to it. But we can get to that later in the show.
Oh, no, but speaking of the kids.
Ramon Foster's shoe drive is tomorrow. Speaking of kids.
Yes.
I don't know if that's where you're going.
No, but that's a great thing to point out. Landon's opinion has come down. We want to wish Landon the best. Our guy has been in the hospital.
He's been struggling.
He's been going through it. His mom, Ashley, has been providing updates on social media. Probably time to pay Landon another visit here pretty soon. But Landon's verdict on T-Rac is out, according to Ashley. So we're talking about how the kids received it.
Is there audio?
No. Oh, that would be great. But Ashley just tweeted, Landon's medical team walked in and he told them something's wrong, and then proceeded to tell them that the Titans changed their mascot and he doesn't like it, word for word.
Right.
I love Landon, man. That dude loves ball, loves the Titans, in the hospital, going through it.
He can't be 10, right? I mean, he's probably 8 or 9. I'm not sure. But yeah, Landon is as diehard a Titans fan as humanly possible. Again, these things are for Titans fans, and yeah, the mascot is largely for children. But we can talk about that later on in the show. Do you have an SEC stat of the day?
Sure.
On this Friday. Let's get to the SEC stat of the day. Ramon's shoe drive is tomorrow. I don't know, is the link still live? Because I know they went over 100% of what they were asking for as far as donations. Kroll, perhaps you can tell me if the link is still available on 1045thezone.com, because I would hate for them to have cut it off if there's still the opportunity to contribute to that today.
Oh, it is.
Okay, very good.
Shout out to Andrew Powell, who just donated $55 17 minutes ago.
Excellent. Well done. 1045thezone.com. It's muscle memory to give the phone number. Apologies. 1045thezone.com is where you go. Ramon is doing, I think is it the Tanger Outlets is where he is, he's hosting this shoe drive. He does this, I think this is the last 3 years he's done it, and it's to give kids who may not have the means the opportunity to have new shoes before they go to school. Because there's a lot of things that kids are mean about. Shoes are one of them. So if you want to contribute, $55 covers one child. If you don't have $55 to donate, that's okay. If you have more than $55 to donate, that's great. You can sponsor multiple children. Ramon has gone above and beyond on this. We hope that you guys will continue to do so. You already have. You've already exceeded 100% of the goal of which we are incredibly grateful. But I know that he is hosting that shoe drive officially tomorrow, and that any last-minute donations would be greatly appreciated on behalf of those children in Middle Tennessee in need. SEC Stat of the Day next. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is now open in Murfreesboro, serving Nashville, Franklin, Clarksville, and the Borough, and so many more across Middle Tennessee. They are a legit script certified clinic, which means that they don't live in the gray area. They've got almost 20 years treating men in Tennessee. With real history, they've been getting better and better every year. The practice is urologist-led, overseeing every protocol and your individualized treatment and care. If you want the best, go to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Pills don't work for everyone, especially if you're getting them online or from Instagram ads or things of that nature. Even when they do, a lot of guys deal with headaches, flushed face, a number of different side effects that nobody wants to deal with. If the pills haven't worked or never really did, that's exactly who the Tennessee Men's Clinic is built for. They are here to help you through that process. And right now, it is only $99 for a full hormone panel plus PSA. You'll have your exact number in about an hour. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or visit them online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Let's overreact to Carson Beck's preseason NFL debut last night, starting for the Arizona Cardinals. They end up losing on an awesome walk-off touchdown run by Haynes King, but Beck makes a pretty good account of himself last night, going 15 of 19 for 188 yards and 1 touchdown. Obviously, Carson Beck was drafted to Arizona in the 3rd round out of Miami, not out of the SEC, but as we know, spent the first big chunk of his career in Georgia from 2020 through 2024. And it got me thinking a little bit watching Carson Beck sling the pill around last night. Hey, he did not end the season that poorly up until that final pass in the national championship game.
Yeah, man, it's the gravity of that pick, right?
Yeah, sure. But there's no question Indiana was the better team in that game. Indiana, the deserved national champions.
Not up front on defense.
But I did go back and take a look at Carson Beck's statistics the last 5 games of the year, where Miami played 5 straight ranked opponents, including, obviously, multiple college football playoff games. They faced Pitt on the road. Then they faced Texas A&M on the road in the CFP. They played Ohio State. They played Ole Miss, and then played Indiana in the national title game. So Carson Beck, in that 5-game stretch, completed 68% of his passes for 1,008 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. 1 in the Pittsburgh game and 1 in the national championship game. I'm sorry, 3 interceptions. Had 1 in the Ole Miss game as well, but he was excellent in the Ole Miss game. It was 23 of 37 for 268 yards and 2 passing touchdowns, ran in that rushing score towards the end that basically won them the game. He was drafted 65th overall. Let's not forget Carson Beck going into the 2024 season was on just about every way too early NFL draft, NFL mock draft, the number 1 overall pick. Like, it was almost
Spencer Rattler.
Unanimous. Yes.
Carson Beck.
But even more so than Spencer Rattler, I think. Carson Beck was the number 1 overall pick, is his to lose. Heading into that 2024 season, it did not go well for Carson Beck. Georgia had offensive line issues. Carson Beck played hurt a lot of the season. His performance has struggled. They were not a multi-dimensional offense, and ultimately seemed like they couldn't wait to see him go down there in Athens. And he goes to Miami. He almost wins the national championship. But it did harken back to some, and that was some of the conversation with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth yesterday. Hey, don't forget, man, this guy was, for a period, thought to be the future number 1 overall pick in the draft going into that 2024 season.
I don't know what to make of him because he's in a weird spot, right? He might end up being an NFL quarterback of some consequence, whether he's a backup who has an extended career as a backup. He may get the opportunity to be a starter. Who was the better college football player? I think this is an easy answer. And then as a result, the better pro prospect between Beck and Levis. Because I think there are some things that Levis, as an NFL talent evaluator, has on tape that would...
Beck was a better college player.
Beck was an infinitely better college player.
Yeah, Levis, better pro prospect on paper.
Simply because of arm strength. And, I mean, I think Levis's mobility can be a plus. I think that he plays with a little too much recklessness when he gets into those situations. Again, that's a hard thing to judge in real time, I suppose, but he does seem to have a lot of chaotic results. I'm just saying, if Will Levis can cut it in the NFL, and I know nobody would describe Will Levis's career thus far as cutting it, I think there's a place for Carson Beck. I just don't think that place is Arizona. Nobody goes to Arizona and succeeds. I mean, just seeing Larry Fitzgerald there, it's like, oh, you can have a Hall of Famer anywhere.
Just to go through...
Except here. There's not a Titans Hall of Famer, right?
Not...
Titans era.
Derek will be the first one that was drafted by the Titans, yes. Lance Zierlein's draft profile of Carson Beck on NFL.com, strengths and weaknesses, it reads, his comp is Kenny Pickett, which is funny. Pickett started opposite Beck last night for Carolina. Under strengths, it reads, 3-year starter with good size, works through progressions, routinely getting to his 3rd read, ready to cut it loose when the window opens, release compact and quick, delivers a catchable ball, looks like a different quarterback once he finds his rhythm, and athletic enough to escape the pocket and outrun pursuit to the sticks. Weaknesses, arm talent and velocity appear diminished post-2024 UCL surgery. Remember, he had that elbow injury in the SEC championship game. Pressure rattles his decision-making process. too often loses track of safety, sitting over the top, deep balls and move throws lose too much energy, struggles with touch and feel on layered throws, and says bad things tend to happen when he's forced to reset his feet. High number of batted passes for his height and release point. So obviously a mixed bag there with Carson Beck, but with the quarterback situation at Arizona, far be it for me to say it's terribly unlikely that he starts a few games this year.
You can't. Nobody's going to succeed in Arizona this year.
Right. Who is, let's see, who else is, Gardner Minshew is there. He did not play last night. And we saw Keaton Slovis play last night.
With Nathaniel Hackett calling plays. Well, excuse me. Michael LaFleur is calling plays. Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator. And famously, Nathaniel Hackett, again, he may be a wonderful guy. I know he was in Ejiro Evero's wedding, who is the Panthers defensive coordinator. Ejiro Evero is somebody who's thought of highly. So, I don't know, maybe you can be a good person and a not great football coach, and that can continue to get you jobs in the NFL, of which I'm sure some coaches complain about from time to time. But Nathaniel Hackett, nothing about the Cardinals. Cardinals are the team you could most easily accuse of passively tanking, not actively tanking, right, ahead of the NFL season. Because even the Jets, I think, are trying to put up a fight. I don't even know about the Browns.
I think Aaron Glenn thinks they can put up a fight.
I mean, Gino's got some legal stuff around him right now, so I don't know how that's going to look. Zach, you feel good about your Jets?
It's funny. I feel really good about the roster outside of quarterback and head coach. And those two things might just be so bad it tanks the entire
Pretty
thing.
important, yeah. Oh, I feel
only
bad
the most
for you, man.
important things. Feel pretty good.
Which feels like that's been a thing with the Jets. Man, roster's really good if they could just figure out this or figure out that.
What about Miami? Are they actively tanking?
I don't think anybody's actively tanking. I think everybody's passively tanking at that tier. 615-737-1045, the number that you can jump in on. So that is the SEC stat of the day. We haven't touched on anything Vols related.
Doesn't even have anything to do with the SEC other than he played at Georgia at one point.
Well, I mean, is there anything SEC relevant right now? Because I was just about to ask you. It seems like Faison Brandon is. I mean, we have now seen practice footage for the first time.
Yeah, there's like practice footage of them throwing the ball.
Film.
Tennessee fans were like, "Yep, it's Faison. Look at that ball."
The McIntyre pass that is thrown before the Brandon pass looks exactly the same to me. It's the same route, same throw.
Yeah, I know.
Not like there's some infinitely more velocity on one than the other.
It's against air. They're not even wearing pads. People are like, "Yep, Faison." So we'll see. Yep, fall camp's going on. They're not even in pads yet. We'll see what developments come down over the next couple weeks.
All right, we will get back to your phone calls. We have a Kevin Winston interview that I did this past weekend that we have not gotten to this week because things have been hectic. So we'll get to Kevin Winston, one of the Titans starting safeties, at the top of the hour. We will also have Friday Fire. Kroll, what at 11:45 can people call in and win if they give us their moment of positivity, the thing that made them feel good this week, personal, professional, or otherwise?
Let me pull it up right now.
Okay, very good. Kroll will tell us here in just a little bit. Just know that Friday Fire is 11:45 and that we will have the opportunity for you to win prizes. A number of different comments in the F&M Bank chat in the meantime. Jonah, bringing up what Lucas brought up. Anyone remember people making way too early mock drafts a few years ago of the Titans taking Carson Beck #1 overall? I don't remember that specifically. I do remember
absolutely. I
do remember Drew Lock when they had the draft here. They were like running a test of the draft stage and like what they call the ticker on the draft stage, and they had Drew Lock going to the Titans in the second round or something like that. It caused a big stir.
Yeah, that was like the week of the draft. He's talking about going into that season where Beck was thought to be the best prospect. Yeah, absolutely. The Titans were at the top of a lot of those mock drafts, which I remember Titans fans being like, what? That's crazy. We just spent all this money in free agency. We got Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard and all these guys and all these
people think
we're going to be the #1 pick.
It is so tough, man, because it's impossible to not feel good when your team is making moves like that. But there's just no real way to predict how an NFL season is going to go, and that one was particularly catastrophic. What do you got?
We have 2 tickets to see My Chemical Romance at Nissan Stadium on August 13th.
That's a good show. I'm going to that concert. You need to get to that concert. I know you're trying to.
What'd you say the date was?
August 13th. Do you have soccer?
I will be swimming in game prep for soccer. Okay. Nashville, Miami that weekend. But that'll be an awesome show.
Not yet. Don't call us yet. 11:45 today. So we'll get to the second hour with Kevin Winston and a number of other fun things. Austin Huff as well. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Nothing is worse than having to call someone to work on your AC unit or fix a plumbing problem, having no idea what it will cost. Well, that's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. You don't have to worry about those kind of problems because the price that they quote you is the price you'll actually pay. No hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill, which is common at almost every other HVAC company. They're the most trustworthy plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical company I've ever dealt with. Their experts are truly that, experts. They're professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way to your home, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time, which cuts down on your wait time, so you don't waste your time waiting around. As Hiller says, 100% satisfaction guaranteed of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. You know, Happy Hiller gets its name honestly. It's a family-owned and operated business that's been around for over 35 years, so you know they know a thing or two about plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical issues. So don't live in the heat. Call Happy Hiller or book online today at happyhiller.com.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
11 o'clock, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint-Kentucky Downs, 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL preseason got underway yesterday in Canton. An absolute thriller in the Hall of Fame game. The Panthers walking it off over the Cardinals. Haynes King with a touchdown run as the clock hit zeros for the 33-30 win. Carson Beck impressed, getting the start for Arizona. The former Georgia and Miami QB, 15 of 19 for 188 yards and 1 touchdown. In NFL news, Jahmyr Gibbs is the highest paid running back in NFL history, only a couple of days after Bijan Robinson's record-setting contract. The Lions back inking a 3-year, $67.5 million deal. That includes $51.5 million in guaranteed money. Nashville Soccer Club continues on in Leagues Cup group stage play Sunday night against Mexican side San Luis at Geodis Park. You can watch on Apple TV with kickoff at 7. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is upon us. I'm going to bitch and moan about the new Titans trying to erase the old Titans later on in the noon hour, so what better way to talk about that than with Jeff Fisher at 12:20. Jeff Fisher will join us in the final hour of the show today. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to jump in the meantime. We are going to have Austin Huff join us here in just a second. He's a name that you may know if you are a Titans fan. He's a Titans super fan who does country radio in Chicago, right? But he's one of the people who constantly is talking about all things Titans, whether it be on the field, off the field. He's about as good. He's one of the few Titans fans that I follow on social media because I think he's got a good pulse. He's also local. Wait, didn't he play running back at Missouri?
Yeah.
Austin's got a crazy career.
He was on Jim Rome's production team.
Yep.
He worked here. He worked at the Zone for a period.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Used to be a routine guest on 3HL. Used to host the Tighten Up podcast on A to Z Sports.
That's right.
I love Austin. Man of many talents. Very funny guy.
Well, and we don't agree about a lot of things being Huff, but we do agree about this. And it's a larger theme revolving around a raccoon today that we will get to later in this hour.
So is this a thing that, like, some people say raccoon, some people say raccoon?
I say raccoon. 615-737-1045. Just like you say chamber.
I mean, phonetically. What are we doing?
Kevin Winston was one of the players that I caught up on Saturday. Now, for what it's worth, this was before the Titans started having fully padded practices, but the week's been busy, so we haven't been able to get to the Kevin Winston interview, so we'll give it to you now. After Titans practice with safety Kevin Winston. Kevin, it's good to see you. Enjoyed watching you guys get after it today. How'd you like the pace? This is Saturday. It's the first time you had fans out here. You feel a little more juice having the fans out?
Yeah, I felt a lot of juice. It's always lovely to have the fans out here, but, our memo is, the practice doesn't change whether there's nobody out here or a lot of fans out here. We got to bring the same effort, same intensity. So it was great to have the fans out here, though, being able to show love afterwards and to, be around the kids, be around all the fans. It was great.
You have talked in podium availability about how much better you feel physically this year. For the audience who may not have heard that, could you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I feel much better. Day in and day out, having a routine I've learned. I think last year for me was a learning experience. With the injury, then I learned what works for me, what gets my body more warm, what do I have to do to make sure I'm ready to perform out there, and then recovery-wise. So I think right now I have understanding for that. Is just, I have a routine now that's allowing me to go out there and perform at the highest level.
Violence is something that comes up every time we talk to Sala. Anytime we talk to you guys on the defensive side of the ball, we're seeing, no, you're not in pads yet. That starts Monday. How much are you looking forward to the pads?
That's football. That's exactly what football is. So I'm really looking forward to it. That's when you really play football, honestly, because that's the only football I know. So when it's T-shirts and it's, you can work on your technique, work on these things and everything else. But when it goes live is when that's where you really get the feel for football. So that's what I look forward to.
Do they ever have to back you off on a practice field a little bit? Because, you're trying to keep your teammates on your feet, but obviously you're still trying to play with that aggression.
Yeah, we always talk about that. And I have to back off myself in certain areas and make sure, we got to keep our guys healthy. So, save that for when it's a different opponent and it's time that it really counts.
How much better do you think Sala and this coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball can elevate you guys as a unit?
Yeah, I think we're going to be really good with this defense, just the scheme, the understanding, all on the same page. That's the biggest thing, having everybody on the same page, and I think we're really hitting on that. And then just being really detailed on the minute things, and I think that's the big thing we've been focused on, and just everybody doing their job, and there's enough plays for everybody to make out there.
As far as the way that the new secondary is kind of coalescing, obviously you and Amani have a pre-existing history and chemistry, but the new cornerback group, what's kind of that working dynamic been like?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, Alante and Cordell, they're both vet guys, have a lot of experience, and when it comes to communication, they're top notch with it, and I think that's a big part of what helps, because not only great players but great communication, and we all connect. So it's been great out there with them, communicate with them. We've all been on the same page and playing fast.
They've talked to us a lot about kind of simplifying things for every position, right? Femi's not going to be asked to drop back; he's going to be a rush. Jeff is looking forward to just getting in a stance and getting after the quarterback. For you, how can you kind of explain the way that they've maybe simplified your role, or do you feel that it's been simplified? I'd kind of like your perspective on that.
I think when you say simplified, for me, it's just been I've been able to focus on safety and narrow those things. And when it comes to the role I play or what I do, I'm at the point now where I feel like I can do anything, whatever they ask me to do, I can do it. But I think right now I've been focused on the safety position, both sides focusing on all the techniques and everything. So that's really been what I've been focusing on.
Competition is at the heart of anything football related. The competition between you guys and the offense. What's it been like in the early goings? I think this is day 3 for us at least out here.
Yeah, it's been great. Offense is great. Great receivers that came in, great quarterback. Cam is playing at a great level right now. So, he gives us many different looks, many different, great pass, great touch passes, and then the receivers making great catches. And then obviously right now there's no pass, but the run game as well. So it's been great. That competition, we're getting different looks from Dayball's offense and everything. So it's getting us prepared for when it's time to go get somebody else.
We get to watch Carnell and Wandale and Calvin, obviously, and have seen Calvin and Wandale across the course of their careers. How much better can that group, that depth, make you guys as a team? Because, obviously your job is defense. You're trying to do your job and focus on your job. But just the entire situation for the team, it seems like there's an elevated, there's the ability to elevate as a group.
Yeah, it's going to elevate us in a great way. You talk about winning the game. It starts offense, defense, and special teams. And I feel like we're in a great spot now where, our offense looks great. Offense, great weapons. And you talk about the depth there. We have wide receivers from top to bottom. I wouldn't even see a bottom. All of our receivers are great right now. So, you talk about defense, we have depth on defense as well. And in special teams, man, you talk about bones. We got all kinds of guys that are ready to go any moment, and everybody's ready. Everybody's on the same page. So, God forbid if one guy goes down, there's no drop off. And I feel like we're really seeing that right now with this team.
Who's the loudest coach on the field?
Marquand Manuel, safety coach, for sure.
Man, that's just that bass, though.
No, it's loudest coach, and it's good energy all the time. That's my guy, so I say Marquand Manuel for sure.
Well, we've enjoyed getting to know him a little bit. Obviously, we'll continue to do so over the course of the season. For the audience who hasn't gotten to know him yet, what have you liked about having him in the room?
I think just his energy from the first day, he has his deep voice and projects it. So he's always talking about don't listen to my tone, listen to my message, and his message is always the right way. It's always the right stuff. He's always trying to make sure he gives us everything to make sure we can go out there and perform at a high level. And every day is the same guy, and that's all you can ask for from a coach. He always has great energy, and that's been from the moment I met him. So I'm really excited with Marquand Manuel.
I mentioned the coming into this season with your health intact, and how much better that's made it for you, how much easier it's made that for you, just to not have the distractions. I'm sure there's great parts about being a rookie and coming into the NFL and all the different new experiences, but just to have a normalized off season, how much did that help you prepare for this coming season?
Yeah, it was major for me. I was able to just, really, that's also where I learned. I was able to just get away and learn and make sure I learned how to take care of my body, because the biggest focus for me is being available, and that's what I'm trying to make sure I do now. And I learned so much about myself in this off season, being able to just focus on that, get myself ready for the season, and that was the biggest part for me, that's allowing me to be out here every day and play fast.
That's Titans safety Kevin Winston hanging out here with us. Looking forward to seeing y'all in pads on Monday.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you. Have a good one.
So that's Kevin Winston, and Greg's breathing. No. Appreciate Greg from Promotions helping me video that. So if we get a little bit of nasally in the background, that's okay too. He is a player that you talk about Femi in this way, Lucas, where you say Femi has the ability to help raise the floor of this team.
Raise the ceiling.
Raise the ceiling of this team in a consequential fashion. I mean, floor too, right? I think of Kevin Winston more in that category, because we all just assuming that Kevin Winston is going to be a good football player for this team? I'm not saying it's a right or wrong assumption. I'm just saying, are we we know not a ton about Kevin Winston, right? He's a player who missed a good chunk of his last season at Penn State, dealing with an ACL tear. Then he comes in here and he says he's not fully healthy for a period of time, and he's in and out of the lineup. Gets a little bit of run, and for the most part, it's like eye-popping hits with Kevin Winston, right? Where he's cheating down around the line of scrimmage and playing in the box and things like that. He's a giant human being. I mean, if you're watching on Zone TV, for a safety, he's a considerably large human being, right? If you saw him standing next to me, I'm 6'2", 220. Kevin Winston is every bit my size in the secondary back there. But like, is Kevin Winston? How confident do we feel about Kevin Winston back there with Amani Hooker?
I mean, confident in his abilities for sure, and his talent level.
In his talent, I don't know about his abilities yet.
Yeah, I mean, those things can go hand in hand.
Sure.
But
skill versus
I think
talent, right?
He is more important to the Titans this season than Femi. Like, I think the Titans can find a way to manufacture a pass rush. I think they have pieces with the pass rush if Femi can't deliver something this year that they don't necessarily have at safety, if Kevin Winston Jr. can't be the guy by Amani Hooker.
So I'm curious to see how much. I mean, Marquand Manuel is not a figure that Titans fans are probably super familiar with yet, but he is an interesting figure on this Titans defensive coaching staff. And remember, they have a division of labor as far as the secondary coaches. They have a safeties coach, they have a corners coach, they have a designated nickel coach for the first time as a Titans coaching staff. Robert Saleh is somebody who liked the idea of it. Gus Bradley talked about that the other day in his podium availability. But for Kevin Winston to just simply have the freedom to play one position and not worry about anything else. Didn't Ramon bring this up as well? Somebody brought this up with us recently, where the wide receivers are only playing one position, right? They're not trying Carnell in the slot. They're just having Carnell line up on the outside, and that's his role, right? Wandale's in the slot. They're focusing on, can you do this one job first, and then we can continue to grow your role potentially after that. Kevin Winston is one of those players who I think a simplification there could do wonders for him. And I don't think that's a shot at Denard Wilson necessarily. I think Denard was in such a bad spot last year, man. They're just selling out parts from under him at every turn. And at a certain point, you're looking around. He's got Jeff, but what else beyond Jeff did Denard Wilson have to work with? I don't know how that's going to go in New York, but I imagine he's in a little bit more of he's got a little bit more confidence about things around John Harbaugh than he did under Brian Callahan, who, ironically enough, he's still on the same staff with in New York. 615-737-1045, the number. If you want to join, you can do just that. We are going to start talking about this T-Rac stuff. And Austin Huff is going to join us, Titans superfan and longtime media personality. He has some thoughts. He wanted to share those thoughts. I said, okay, come on a radio show. We'll talk about it together. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
What is going on?
What happened there, Kroll?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to try again?
Tell me
pick a new
Austin's
song.
here.
I hope Huff is here to witness this highest level of professional broadcasting.
What else we got? What else we got?
What other
else we got?
random
No,
noises do you have back there?
Play it, Kroll.
What do you have?
Play it. I know you got something in
What
there.
do you have?
Got something in the chamber.
What's in the
Hit
chamber?
play.
I see
Hit
it. No.
play.
Hit play, damn
It's
you.
okay. He just
I'm picking songs. I don't know what's going on here.
unloading the clip. Just unloading the clip. More.
Okay, some of them aren't songs.
More.
Robert's not here. And everything.
We're
What the
watching
hell?
him operate right now. We can see what he's picking.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He just clicked on "Yeah" by Usher to try and bump back. And
are we just like missing things?
Yeah, and like the cart played the set bladder. Like Zach's doing the right stuff. All right, let's try another one, Zach.
You want to try again?
No, we're gonna go until we get one. Yeah, you're 3,000. That's good.
Huff's got nowhere to be. It's
Let's
fun.
go. Let's go. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, this is a jam.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. What a stupid thing that we do on a regular basis. Austin Huff is here to make us smarter.
So great. I hope Austin heard every single second of that.
Huff, how are you? Are you well?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a little bit of echo on my side, Kroll. Okay, there's the echo. It's gone away. So Huff and I have known each other for a long time. Huff is somebody who the audience probably knows very well. As Lucas mentioned, he worked at The Zone for a period of time. He's been in sports media for a while. He's now doing country radio in Chicago in the mornings, and formerly the host of the Tighten Up podcast. Huff and I don't agree on everything regarding the local professional football team. Austin, would you say that's fair?
Uh-oh.
No, famously not. I am not on board with the rebrand. Just the erasure. This is erasure to me. But I want to cede the floor to you because I know you have thoughtfully put together this because you are a Titans fan. This is for Titans fans. So this is not for me to necessarily judge other than what I think is a larger theme happening around the franchise and the people that they are comfortable leaving behind for the sake of the people that they are trying to get or the dollars that they are trying to get. So I cede the floor to Austin Huff.
NFL Yes campaign. People.
Yes.
In Nashville, they
Austin Huff with us. The passion, you can hear it. You can hear the chat. So there's some technical issues that people can't hear Austin Huff on the F&M Bank chat.
Well, it's Krull's first time doing this without Robert. And
there's a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot of moving parts. So the FM audience can hear this impassioned rant from Austin Huff, but the YouTube commenters are struggling.
You can listen on the app or on the radio to hear Austin, but the chat is saying that can't hear him, but I can see his passion.
Yes, there is much passion. Lucas, your response to the erasure of the Titans franchise?
Well, my question, Austin, because I, like you, born and raised a Titans fan, but I was not here for the recruiting the Oilers to Nashville stuff. I was born in 95. And really became a Titans fan as a toddler in like the early 2000s when the Titans were here established as the Tennessee Titans. So for me, it was very bittersweet when we went away from the Fireball and the logo rebrand, the uniform rebrand, because the uniforms are awesome, let me say. They look fantastic on the practice field. That's because Oilers uniforms are awesome, right? Like it's one of the best color schemes. We understand it's one of the best vintage or throwback uniforms in the league, if not the best. My thing was it was bittersweet because that's great, but I didn't grow up an Oilers fan, right? I grew up a Titans fan, a two-tone blue fan. But at the same time, I didn't see this sort of reaction, overwhelming reaction to the rebrand, but we are seeing it for the T-Rac thing. Why do you think there was not this negative, overwhelming reaction to the rebrand going away from the Fireball and the Titans as we knew them, but there is with T-Rac?
Austin Huff is here with us on 104.5 The Zone. He hosts Chicago morning radio, country morning radio, but he's been a Titans fan his entire life before day one, day zero Titans fan. Austin Huff here with us on 104.5 The Zone. Huff, it's not my place to talk about these things because, again, I don't root for them, I don't root against them. I work here, right? But I am fascinated to see the people who will defend their bad decisions at every turn and who will ignore the fact that there are things going on in an organization that go beyond the football team. Robert Saleh made a bit of a jab yesterday at the press conference, or I guess Thursday at the press conference, about marketing people trying to get new chants off the ground tonight at the Friday practice. And this has been a perpetual thing for the Titans, right? They've been trying to figure out whether they want to do the 300 grunt or growl or whatever that thing is when they get a first down, and the pain train has been a talking point for 100 years. There's so many people who come in who think that they have a fix to this thing, who think they're reinventing the wheel, almost Bill Belichick and Mike Lombardi at North Carolina, and at every turn, it feels to me, on aggregate, they have made it worse.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could go back to the late 2000s and talk about how bad the in-game atmosphere has been there. But, there was a point where, first and foremost, winning football is what gets a stadium rocking. And you could do whatever you want on the jumbotrons, on the video screens or whatever. If you win football games, it doesn't matter. Things will stick if you win. But that's the thing. Nothing has stuck with this team. They keep throwing stuff at the wall, and even if it does stick, they pull it right off and try something new. And it's just, it's frustrating. Like it feels like, and it's kind of like a microcosm of Nashville in and of itself, where Nashville is just losing its recipes. I mean, Burger Up is closing down. 12 South Tap Room is getting knocked down for a freaking Lululemon or whatever. Rotiers, the best burger in town, gone after, nearly what felt like a century of serving up delicious food. Hell, they took away our Midtown Chewies even, and that's a chain. Vanderbilt is good at football now. Like, Nashville just does not feel like Nashville. And this new stadium, although it looks awesome. The new stadium, I've walked around it, I've driven by it. It's massive. It looks great. But it feels like every new Nashville new build. It looks like a damn Topgolf. Like, they couldn't have even made it look like somewhat of like it was a Nashville staple. Like, it just feels like we're losing the Titans too. And so, like, along with old Nashville, so go the Titans, and it hurts. It hurts, and I am butthurt right now. That's to put it best.
So what do you? I know you've got a movement. You've got a movement on social media. Yes, you want to speak to this movement?
Yeah, it's the dumbest movement ever in the history of social media.
That's fine. That's all we do is dumb stuff around here.
That is all I do. I spearhead the dumbest of the dumb. And whoever is dumb enough with me to stand on the front lines with me, hashtag not my T-Rac. Honestly, teams have done this before. Teams have listened to their fans before. The Titans surely have never done that in their 26 years of existence. But every other major league franchise has listened to what their fan base has said. And I think it is idiotic that they're going to this furry lookalike. I mean, the new T-Rac doesn't even have his tongue sticking out. All right, I want old doofus looking, not quite looking like a raccoon T-Rac back. That's what I want. And whatever this new guy. I saw a commenter on online. Ant-Man Ace on Instagram. I got to give him credit for this. He coined him T-Wac, which I think is the best nickname for him. He's got boots with the fur on, all right? Like, it looks like he's like a stuffed animal straight out of the Grand Ole Opry gift shop. Like, go back to the original T-Rac. Do something right for once.
So would that be the word of advice? So let's say that they've gone through 5 chief marketing officers since 2019. Okay, so there's a bunch of people who've come in here who thought they were going to do something bright and brilliant and special and have crashed out spectacularly. And the latest one is Aaron Schwartz. So if I gave you the opportunity to send a message to the people in Titans marketing, would it just simply be stop doing dumb stuff?
I would say stop hiring people that just moved to town like yesterday.
Well, and she's from the Vikings for what it's worth. So.
Right, exactly. And look, don't get me wrong. Could they pull someone from another franchise that has probably done great work? I guarantee I could say 31 other franchises in football probably have better in-game stadium atmosphere than the Titans, okay? They've been getting better over the last few years. Let me say that. I'm not trashing everything that they've done. Social media has been fantastic. Nate Bain does a terrific job. There are people in that building that do great work, but it just feels like we're losing the recipes the longer it is we go. And they're trying to gain new fans more than they're trying to appease old fans. It feels like they're starting over. They're refreshing from the get-go. And you see the most iconic brands in football. Have they ever done that? Have the Packers ever done that? Have the Bears ever done that? Have the Chiefs ever done that? No, they haven't. They've stayed with what works. And the Titans just continue to change it up. And and this freaking mascot is the dumbest change they've made. But it's the one that I feel like we can fight behind to hold our ground and to say, no, look, keep the Titans, the freaking Titans. Keep something from Titans history into this new adaptation of this new era, new Cam Moore. We're all excited. Every Titans fan is excited for what's coming for this franchise. At least pay homage, give some sort of nod to the fact that for 26 years, they were the Tennessee Titans, and they're not just going back to the Love You Blue Oilers.
Austin Huff has been kind enough to spend some time here with us. Huff, we appreciate you working through our technical difficulties with us. I think that's very well said.
I think I brought down the IQ of this show at least 100 points, at least.
Impossible.
Buddy, we didn't have 100 to work with.
Hey, Shout out to my guy, Zach Kroll. Be easy on him. He's a great, fantastic producer, works his ass off, and I love him.
He does work his ass off.
Yes.
Love you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin Huff. All right, Lucas, you're the only Titans fan on the show, so I wonder how much you sympathize with what Huff is saying there. Because, again, this is not my place, though I do have strong thoughts on the people coming in here who are not from here. As somebody who's not from here and covers that team, but has seen just how many people have tried to change it into new Titans unsuccessfully.
Yeah, and, to be fair, rebrands are not a thing unique to the Titans in the NFL, right? Like, yes, the most iconic organizations have stayed that way. So many of them were like original NFL organizations, right? The Packers have been around since way before the NFL was even a concept. But the Broncos have had logo changes, right? Mm-hmm. The Patriots, the Falcons, these things have evolved over the years, and new shiny stadiums get built and new shiny uniforms. So there's one half of me that's like, all right, that's the nature of the business. The Titans are not like a legacy NFL team that has a tradition that's been around since the 20s to preserve. That just is what it is. There's one half of me that absolutely understands the business side of that, and genuinely, like the new uniforms look so sharp on the practice field. They look awesome. The white uniforms with the blue numbers look awesome. And that's because Oilers uniforms are awesome. So, like, that is a great thing to lean into because everybody loves the Oilers. But the thing I just kept coming back to is it's all great. But the bitter part in terms of the bittersweet feeling is, but I'm not an Oilers fan, right? I don't care about the city of Houston. I have no connection to the city of Houston whatsoever. I love that we took the Oilers from Houston, or that the Adams family brought the Oilers to us from Houston and made them the Titans. I love arguing with Oilers fans about it, and that they can't wrap their head around the fact
J.J. Watt,
that the organization belongs to the Adams family, not to the city of Houston. That's not how this works. It's never how any of this has ever worked.
I think
American sports.
She breathes more life into it, though, with the way that she hyper-emphasizes the Houston stuff, right? Or do you disagree?
I think the Houston game's been important to their family since they arrived here. Like, I don't think that's an Amy
Oilers
thing.
Throwbacks. That's very much an Amy thing. In fact,
bringing back the Oilers throwbacks. I don't think Houston being important to the family or that game meaning something to them is
very much an Amy thing.
So it didn't mean anything to Bud?
I don't know. I wasn't here when Bud was here. I know that Amy has hyper-emphasized to her football team the importance of beating Houston.
100%. Okay. But it means something to Amy because it meant something to Bud, right? Like, I don't think that's just a unique thing that's new now, that suddenly the Titans care about Houston, then the Adams family suddenly cares about Houston just because of Amy. I think that was also a Bud thing. But yeah, it is 100%.
Bud tried to make a new franchise, and they're the cosplay Oilers.
Yeah, so I'm always incredibly conflicted on it. It makes me genuinely sad that the two-tone blue is just kind of gone. That we're never going to see that navy with the light blue. It makes me sad as somebody that those are my memories. When I think about growing up, going to Titans games, watching Titans games, the VY years, the CJ2K years, like that uniform, that's my team. So on one hand, they're like a little bit unrecognizable, but on the other hand, I get it. Like, it's the business of the NFL. I get what they're doing. Again, I reiterate, I am surprised at how emphatic the reaction has been with the T-Rac
It's
stuff.
a final straw, right?
Sure, but the rebrand landed. People loved it. They packed out the pinnacle and went crazy.
Sure, but it's not. I mean, how many new things beyond the rebrand? Lucas, how many new things do they have beyond the rebrand? The new stadium. And we can go through this at length. I'm going to at noon. I have a list of things. They will be a almost entirely new franchise by the time that thing opens in 2027, which from a business person standpoint, because you have business, you have the business operation of the football team, and then you have the football team. If the football team wins, nobody cares.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares. I don't want to care about rebrands. I want to care about quality football, of which they have failed at spectacularly over these last 4 years after being one of the preeminent powers in the AFC. I have been here for 11 years. They had 6 consecutive winning seasons, 4 appearances in the playoffs, and a trip to the AFC Championship game in my time here. It's not like they've always been bums. But this need from the business side to get ahead of the football because they think the business side is going to somehow influence the trajectory of the football team is asinine. It's asinine. And the hubris, and this is a line that I don't know if Nick Suss published it, so I don't want to use it if Nick Suss hasn't already. But I remember sitting in a conversation with Nick Suss, who writes at the Tennessee and was on the radio show this week. And it was right after they showed local media the rebrand before they rolled the thing out at the Pinnacle the night before. Suss looked over at me and said, they think they get to decide what's iconic. They don't get to decide what's iconic. And that's the thing that I keep coming back to with all of this. They keep trying to tell you what they believe is iconic, as opposed to what makes franchise, like the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, all these historically iconic franchises, symbols, logos, insignia that you have from historically relevant NFL teams versus what they are trying. The Houston Oilers derrick, you would say that's iconic, yes?
Oh, yeah.
In combination with the uniform colors. The uniform colors with that logo are iconic. So we have the knockoff version with a dumbed-down Titans logo because they want to be Titans of industry instead of Greek mythology, because that's the thing that they've said as well, which, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about that. That's not that important to me. But it's they don't get to decide that. It's what everybody else decides is iconic, as opposed to the people who get into these meetings, insulate themselves, and then make decisions on behalf of a fan base that they don't actually represent. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to jump in, you are welcome to do so. We will get to more. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have Friday Fire. So we have what? My Chemical Romance tickets to give away at Nissan Stadium. If you would like, 615-737-1045. We've talked about a little bit of bad. Let's talk about a little bit of good that happened to you this week, whether it be in sports, personal, professional, or otherwise. We would love your feel-good stories for the opportunity to win those tickets coming up next.
Buck Rising is one of the least positive people on the planet. So to combat that, we've installed a new segment where he's forced to be positive. This is Friday Fire.
Because it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
For the opportunity to win some tickets to My Chemical Romance. Why do I keep saying it that way? My Chemical Romance is the name of the band. They're playing at Nissan Stadium August 13th. I'm going to be at that show, 615-737-1045. The number you need to give us your moment of positivity from the week. Now, it can be sports. It's always good to have a sports one. It can be personal. It can be something that happened to you at work. Whatever made you feel good this week, because we don't do enough feel good around here. 615-737-1045. You call in. You give us your submission. We'll put you on hold. If your submission is selected, Kroll will tell you that you have won the tickets. Lucas, start us off.
Akron football. I know we already talked about it yesterday, but Akron football, this promotion for a random season ticket holder to be able to script the opening drive of their home opener against Robert Morris. Probably not going to be what people are envisioning. I imagine it's going to be very toned down in terms of the plays that this person can actually call. But from a marketing standpoint, genius. No notes. Well done, Akron football.
Kroll?
So I know we don't talk a ton of baseball on this show, but my favorite baseball team, the New York Mets, they've had a pretty rough season. And we actually just called up a new pitcher by the name of Jeffrey Yan.
You're a Mets and a Jets fan?
I am. Well, thankfully, we have the Knicks.
Oh.
Yeah, you got yourself a ring. You're living large in 2026.
My God.
First time ever I've seen one of my teams win a championship. I really enjoyed it. But the Mets just called up this new pitcher, Jeffrey Yan. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy, but
I assume we haven't.
He has a strikeout celebration that I don't think baseball has ever seen.
Wait, the guy that does the splits?
Yes.
Terry McCormick showed me this in the Titans media room the other day. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. So every time he strikes out a batter, he basically just leaps up as high as he can and does a split and lands it. Now,
what happens if he gets hurt?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably a recipe for disaster. I think our guy, Frank the Tank, he mentioned that he's going to do it and give up a 3-run homer in a couple batters. It's not going to age well. But I just think this is good for baseball. We need more things like that. So it made me smile.
615-737-1045. My Friday Fire is Mooney. Moonbeam is the cat. And if you have paid attention to anything that I've been complaining about on social media, I'm sure some of you like to ignore when I complain on social media, but we had a bit of a scare. Lucas, you have a cat and a dog. The dog is Blues, right? It's not your dog, but it's your dog.
I do not, yeah.
I mean, it's your dog. You've lived with this dog for how many years?
I lived with the dog for several years.
Okay. Yeah. I used to kind of, look side-eyed at people who treat animals like family. Okay? I don't do that anymore because the cat had a terrible viral scare that sent her into some level of shock. She was hospitalized for 3 days. God bless the great people at Good Vets over in Germantown and Nashville veterinary specialists for helping save her because we thought that she might die. They are a part of your family. And I had no concept of what an emotional support animal was until Moon got sick. And so the fact that she's doing better, she's still pretty weak. She's moving pretty slow. She still likes to go outside on a front porch in the morning with me when I have my coffee, which makes me happy, even if she's meowing a little weaker now. But the fact that Mooney is on the mend and trending in the right direction has, really... It's changed my demeanor about the way that we view pets and loved ones and people who need emotional support animals and service animals and things like that, because I was not fully familiar until I almost lost one. And that's the first time that I've lost a pet. When one of them goes, I'm going to be inconsolable. And maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But the good people at Good Vets and Nashville veterinary specialists for saving all the animals that they do. God bless them, because I was... When's the last time you cried?
Something made me cry during the World Cup, for sure. But, thank God Moon's okay. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very, very happy she's home and back on the up.
Side Friday Fire, Ramon Foster's shoe drive. Side Friday Fire for that. 615-737-1045. The number if you want to get involved. Somebody in the chat says Buck is mean to hide his inner softy heart towards animals. I really do love animals. They're helpless. I'd have far more sympathy for animals than I do for human beings. That is absolutely so. 615-737-1045. The number, if you have a submission, you are welcome to do just that. Let's go to Terry in Portland.
How's it going, guys?
Going great.
So my son and his family live up in Toledo. So I don't get to see my grandsons very often. But my 6-year-old grandson is coming down next Thursday, flying down by himself. So I find out that his favorite soccer player is Lionel Messi. And so I look and I find that the national team is playing the Miami team that weekend. So Pat does what he has to do. He gets tickets, so he and I are going to our first soccer games together.
Well, that's beautiful, Terry.
Yes.
Well done by you.
Awesome,
well done
Terry.
by you. That's incredible. I hope you guys have an amazing time. That's August the 15th?
Yeah, next Saturday, top 2 teams in Major League Soccer.
And there's no disputing he's going to play, right? He's already back in MLS
He's already
play?
back. He's playing in Leagues Cup currently against these Mexican teams, but it's back to MLS regular season play next weekend. Nashville's got to get healthy. They're just trying to be as healthy as they possibly can going into that game. But, man, that crowd's going to be awesome for Messi's first trip here post-2026 World Cup. You guys are going to have an awesome, awesome time, Terry. Get some Hattie B's hot chicken while you're in there.
Yes, absolutely. Make that night even better. Celeste is in White House.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing great.
I had a really good story until you told yours.
No, it's not that good. It's all right. It's just me being soft about a pet,
I'm an emotional support animal. But my feel good is Drew Brees, my favorite quarterback, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm just overjoyed, and that's all I need to say.
Yeah, that's enough. I mean, good. Luke Kuechly, the youngest player in the history of the Pro Football Hall of Fame to be inducted.
Crazy young.
Good on Luke, by the way. Luke, he spends a little time here locally. I think his girlfriend is local, so he spent some time in Nashville. He's Netflix's new #1 color commentator for their NFL broadcasts this year, which is cool. But to see him and Drew Brees, did you see the Lawan and Will are at the Hall of Fame, and they do this thing? You know that Robert gets into the pulling of cards and things like that, ripping packs or whatever they call it. So they did this with Drew Brees and Luke Kuechly on the podcast in real time, because Taylor has been doing it with Pokemon cards on like Instagram Live, but they did it with football cards. The first card that Drew Brees pulled was a Luke Kuechly rookie card while Luke Kuechly is sitting there next to him, and they lost their minds. It was really cool. Drew also had his high school senior son with him at the Hall of Fame game last night.
Oh, the kid from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so the eldest son who was there for the Super Bowl victory, the iconic image of Drew hoisting the son.
Yep.
I can't remember the young man's name.
Headphones,
got his
confetti
headphones
falling.
on. Now he's taller than Drew Brees, and Brees is coaching his son's high school football team, which has to be a tremendous amount of pressure. I don't know if the young man plays quarterback or not, but yeah, a cool moment for a lot of people. He's responsible, that franchise in the aftermath of Katrina, responsible for one of the most iconic sports moments of my lifetime.
The block punt?
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. Easily.
Steve Gleason.
No. Awesome class this year. We're getting into that age, you, me, and Bert, where you're starting to see players where you watched their entire careers basically get into the Hall.
I saw Rajon Rondo's kid is now, being recruited and stuff like that, and I felt old. I got the ick.
Larry Fitzgerald getting into the Hall had me thinking about what an unbelievable player he was. He hasn't played since 2020. I just saw this, that when he spoke at the media availability they did, he has not retired, like formally. He's
Brees?
not announced. No, Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh.
He refuses to announce a retirement. He said, quote, "I remember them talking about retirement killing more people in our country than anything, and that always stuck with me. And so I just don't believe in retirement. I think you just transition into different phases, especially as an athlete." I love it. He said he protests the word more than anything. He refuses to say he's retiring. he's just moving into a different phase of life and career, even though he hasn't played in 6 years.
This is a positive segment, but I do feel the need to bring this up. I really hate it for Larry that his dad just recently passed before he got inducted.
I know.
Especially because his father, I believe, has a background as a sports writer.
Oh, yeah, long time sports writer.
So unfortunate for Larry. Incredible honor, and I'm sure that they will pay tribute to his father in his induction ceremony.
Now, he passed this year, so I can't remember if he passed before or after we learned that Larry was going to go in.
I want to say it was within the last couple of months, Lucas, and I'm pretty sure we knew that Fitzgerald was one of the inductees. Prior to, I think they usually announce that around NFL honors, right? So
they announced it in February.
Okay. So right around the Super Bowl. Yeah. 615-737-1045. A few more submissions here. How about Jesse in Springfield?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good.
Hey, awesome. Yeah. My Friday Fire, although Bucky stole it, but I know you're not eligible, so I'm going to use it anyway. And it's the shoe drive that Ramon did, and I think it's even bigger than that. It's the fact that the community and the Zone family that you guys collectively have created, they all ponied up to support Ramon and to support the Zone folks, and I just think that was really awesome, and it exceeded everything even Ramon expected. And again, I think it's kudos to all the shows, all the folks for creating a bunch of listeners that really dig you guys. And I can speak personally that my drive in to work every morning is awesome simply because I get to listen to all of y'all. So I think that's my Friday Fire.
Well, it's great work that Ramon is doing, and we do appreciate everybody in the audience. We would be remiss if we didn't say that this audience was here long before we got here. I mean, in particular,
and they'll be here after.
That's right. It's like football players and media. I'm going to be here before you get here. I'm going to be here long after you're gone. No, the Zone as an entity, Mark Howard, Frank Wycheck, Blaine obviously is a big part of this, even though I disagree with him vehemently on basically everything. Clay Travis, Brent. It's a really, really special community that we are grateful. We are incredibly fortunate that you guys have accepted us. Some of you, most of you. All right, we'll wrap up the final hour. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about Titans erasure.
Terry wins the tickets.
Terry does win the tickets. Yeah. That is correct. Terry wins the tickets. Jeff Fisher is also on the show. Speaking of Titans throwbacks in the final hour, coming up next.
12:01, good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint, Kentucky Downs, 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL preseason got underway last night. The Hall of Fame game in Canton with the Panthers walking it off against the Cardinals, 33-30. Haynes King scrambling into the end zone as the clock hit zeros. Carson Beck showed out a bit, the former Georgia and Miami quarterback, 15 of 19 in the air for 188 yards and a touchdown for Arizona. In other NFL news, a record-setting deal for Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs only a couple days after Bijan Robinson had his deal done with Atlanta. Gibbs signing a 3-year, $67.5 million deal, $51.5 million in guaranteed money. Leagues Cup continues for Nashville Soccer Club Sunday night, hosting Mexican side San Luis at Geodis Park. You can watch it on Apple TV. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back to the show. The final hour is upon us on this Friday. I hope you're having a tremendous Friday wherever it is that you are. Thanks for spending a little bit of it with us, Lucas and me and Krull. Robert is on vacation. Do we know if he's still spear fishing stingrays on the beaches of North Carolina on Monday, or is he back on Monday? Do we know that?
Can't. Zach, do you know? Is Robert back Monday? I feel like he said he was out Monday.
Yeah, I think he is out Monday.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, Robert will be back at some point next week, and we will continue Titans training camp coverage. No, we're out there on Sunday, which means we are not on Monday, unless I need to revisit No, Monday's a travel day. Monday, I'm flying to San Francisco. Monday is when the preseason starts. Okay, I got my schedule in order now. A lot of people are upset about the new T-Rac. T-brand, I almost called it. What did Austin Huff call it in the last hour? T-Wac. Lucas, you said you were surprised that the reaction has been so visceral to the mascot. And my position on this has been the mascot is unimportant. The mascot is, in fact, for children. But the mascot means something to people of a certain generation, to Tennessee Titans fans, not Houston Oilers fans, not Tennessee Oilers fans. When the franchise moved here after it finally settled its home, once they finally broke ground on Nissan Stadium, came out with the first uniforms, put Blaine and Eddie and McNair and everybody else in them and trotted them out on the stage to present with Mike Keith and the whole thing, the Tennessee Titans are going on 30 years in Nashville. And at every turn in the last 4 years, as the football product has gotten worse, the business side of the franchise has tried to erase the stink of the losing with new stuff. And it is the definition of cart before the horse. Now, the new Nissan Stadium, I think, is an exception to this. And obviously, that's a focal point. But the new Nissan Stadium, what does the new Nissan Stadium accomplish if the football team doesn't improve? There's reason to believe, by the way, that the football team would improve. And I, in fact, am optimistic about the trajectory of the football team itself because they finally got an adult in the room in Borgonzi. They've got a veteran staff that is coming in here with experience to navigate this and hopefully support Cam Ward as much as humanly possible, as should be the edict for any franchise that is a number one overall pick at quarterback. But if it doesn't go to plan, then the new Nissan Stadium serves nobody but Amy Adams Strunk because the new Nissan Stadium hosts how many Titans games a year? 8. On the odd year, 9. The vast majority of the dates that will occupy that will be concerts and other events, perhaps other sporting events, perhaps a Final Four. Isn't Georgia football playing a game here in 2027? Don't they already have a deal agreed to?
Oh, in 27?
Yeah, in 27 in the new Nissan Stadium. It's one of the I think it's like, because we have a college football kickoff game here at the old Nissan Stadium. I believe Georgia in 2027 is one of the things that will appear in the new Nissan Stadium. I don't remember if they have an opponent already or if that is yet to be determined. But it serves nobody to get the new stadium up and running except for the people that own it. And Amy Adams Strunk has invested a ton of money, to her credit, in the franchise, in the facilities, and the upgrade of the stadium. The stadium is an ancillary part here to me, because if the stadium still hosts a losing product, then the stadium doesn't actually serve the fans. They will officially, when this thing opens, have everything new, Lucas, in 2027 when they move into the stadium. The stadium itself, the colors and the uniform of the franchise, the mascot, the story behind how they came to call themselves the Titans. They don't want to be Greek mythology anymore. They want to be Titans of industry, is how it was categorized to all of us when they talked about the rebrand the last time we had a conversation about it. Their game day experience is going to be different, which, by the way, some of this stuff can be better. It doesn't all have to be bad or, as I'm categorizing it, erasure of the old. The game day situation should be new. We'll see if it's better. There will be a number of new businesses that are associated with the new Nissan Stadium because they've priced out a lot of people, right? And that happens as things go. The fan base will be different because the cost to be in this thing will be more expensive, as is the case for any NFL team. The prices are rising even if the product isn't getting better. They are comfortable. They're not saying it publicly, but their actions show you privately, and really not even privately based on the way that they're going about this, that they are not worried about losing the Titans fan base as it is currently constructed, because they are hyper-fixated on trying to get new Nashville and new people to be a fan of their new, quote-unquote, franchise. When in reality, and I don't want to steal this line from you because it was a good one, do they feel like the Tennessee Titans anymore, Lucas, or what do they feel like?
What do you mean?
Do they feel like the team that you grew up rooting for?
Yeah, no. I mean, they don't look like it, certainly.
And you called them what in the commercial break just now?
Oh, and I said this when the rebrand happened, that my fear as a Titans fan is that preseason week one rolls around at the new Nissan Stadium in 2027, and they're out there with the new uniforms, and it's going to take an adjustment period where I'm like, I feel like I'm watching an expansion team, right?
They feel like an expansion franchise. They are no longer, they are it in name, and their owner is the same, and the family is the same. When I walk out onto that practice field, and it's in part because they keep changing coaching staffs all over the place, and they've fired a bunch of people because they don't want old Titans anymore. They want new Titans all over the place. And some of that is good, and some of that is bad. It doesn't all have to be categorized as the way that I feel like it's being, that I'm categorizing as pretty wholesale erasure of a lot of things here. Because I know historically players from that franchise, and they can speak to this on their own, but there are some of them who feel like they're being not considered in the direction of these things, or not necessarily remembered the way that they expect to be remembered, or the uniforms that they came up in their NFL careers playing in. They are not the Tennessee Titans in anything but name. And that's by design. If the football team wins, none of this matters. But every time you talk to a business side person on this, they keep trying to convince you that if they are doing things the way that they want to do things on the business side, that the football will follow. And I fear for them, one, people are not being honest enough with each other in that building. Two, that they are deeply flawed in that logic, because the football is the most important thing. Again, I am optimistic about the trajectory of the football program. Maybe they will have a winning product by the time this thing opens, and people will, quickly forget how upset they were about T-Rac and all these different things. But what people don't like, Lucas, more than anything, is I think something that you're experiencing a little bit, which is that you're being left behind for the sake of something else, a new fan base, new Titans, new stadium, new uniforms, new T-Rac.
I mean, there are certain things that get lumped into this conversation that are not unique to the Titans. Like, it sucks.
Yes.
But a new stadium being built and fans being priced out, that sucks. That's going to happen.
Yep.
It happens with every new stadium across the NFL.
It happened to the Preds, and they didn't even get a new stadium. I know there's renovations going on.
They just went to the finals, yeah. There are a ton of Buffalo fans that are going to be priced out of the new stadium in Buffalo. Like, rinse, repeat. This happens across the NFL. Rebrands, not unique to the Titans. Plenty of NFL teams have rebranded. But this market does have such a unique and specific NFL history. How many other markets are like this, where its NFL history started in the late 90s, not as an expansion team like Jacksonville or Houston or Carolina, but because an iconic organization picked up, moved cities, and then totally rebranded.
Raiders? But they didn't rebrand.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's an incredible, it's honestly, it's one of the more unique situations in the NFL. It doesn't happen that often, right? It happened with the Supersonics. They picked up from Seattle. They moved to Oklahoma City. They became the Thunder.
That's a good example.
But there's not that many examples of that in the NFL. So it's already a very unique situation. And then in the late 90s, so many people attached to it. And Adelphia Coliseum was an electric atmosphere. It was like this fever dream of NFL is here in this little town of Nashville, Tennessee. And so that sort of organically created this attachment for a lot of people. And then Nashville underwent insane changes over the course of the next couple of decades, which adds another layer to just the unique nature of this entire situation with the organization.
James on YouTube brings up Browns to Ravens, and then they brought the Browns back, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. But I do think going from the Houston Oilers, leaving for the reason that they left, to becoming the Tennessee Titans.
It's a very unique situation.
It's unique. It just doesn't happen that much in the NFL.
Okay, but the rationale behind it, did it have to happen?
What? That the Oilers came to Tennessee?
No. Everything that's happened in the last 4 years. Them basically trying to whitewash the franchise.
Yeah,
did it need to happen?
No, you know where I stand. I love the Fireball. Fireball is my logo. Like, the Fireball is the logo I grew up watching. It's the logo that when I played Madden, that's the first logo I chose to play with.
Right. So my question is, was the old bad, or are they simply trying to make you forget about the bad with bright and shiny and new? Because the losing is what got you here. The reason people are disinterested and dissatisfied is because you've been a clown show.
Well, I don't think they're rebranding because they've been losing. Like, no, they're not. They'd be rebranding going into the new stadium had they made the playoffs the last 3 years.
Lucas, if you don't think that the fact that they have embarrassed themselves these last couple of years doesn't have something to do with the rebrand, you are sorely mistaken.
I do think that the rebrand is
not solely.
No, I think the rebrand can be used as an opportunity to energize the fan base for them, absolutely. But I don't think that it's like, guys, been piling up some losses. We got to think of something. Let's change everything.
No, they're saying you associate this with loser. Let me show you this.
Yeah, but
it'll be better. It'll be a winner.
Moving into a new stadium, there were always going to be changes. I have a hard time believing that they just pivoted because the football was bad.
But it speaks to a larger problem with the way that sports and things are being manipulated that way. Because the things that were old, the logos, the symbolism, the Greek mythology, T-Rac, is being changed for the sake of change and not because there's a purpose. And that, I'm not speaking as a Titans fan, so I'm not going to try and pretend to speak on behalf of you all. But if it was me, I would be annoyed by the fact that people keep putting the things that I'm interested in and the things that I was invested in and the things that I associate my fandom with to the side for the sake of another demographic that, as far as I know, doesn't exist. Where are these new people? Where are they going to get these new people? As if people are moving here with NFL franchises. You talking generations down the road? Like when all the California transplants and New York transplants and Chicago transplants have kids, you hope and pray and wish that you're good enough to make them Titans fans? Yeah. Because people come here with NFL allegiances. And I think more often than not, you're passing that down to your children as opposed to be like, and I'm sure maybe you take a field trip to a Titans game or something like that or whatever. But like Alontae Taylor grew up, where is he from? Coffee County?
Yeah, Manchester.
We asked Alontae Taylor about coming back to Tennessee, and obviously he played for the Vols, so he has a level of attachment to the state and being from here. But he said, yeah, I wasn't a Titans fan. Like we had a couple of maybe Mr. Football trips to Titans games or something like that, but like they have a hard time latching onto the people that are already here, and much less trying to dig up these new folks that they think are just going to manifest. And again, winning is the way to get people's attention. But they have not done that, and they're doing all of these things ahead of, they hope, and I understand that hope, a winning product, but they are so far away from a winning product these last 4 years that I don't know how you can even wrap that. I don't even know how you can make that justification in your head as you sit in these board meetings with your C-suite and cycling through how many different chief marketing officers in the last 5 years. They've had 5 CMOs since 2019. who keep coming in here and thinking they're going to reinvent the wheel. And I know, some of them, I've dealt with some of them. I know some of them haven't liked me. I know some of them, there's a professional working relationship that's fine. I know some of them think that they can control more things that they can actually control and try and flex that from time to time and then don't have any success with it, which is absolute nonsense and pettiness that I think speaks to a larger issue with corporatization of sports. But the entire thing, I think T-Rac, the outsized reaction around T-Rac is a symptom of a larger issue, is that people feel like they're being forgotten. 615-737-1045, the number. If you want to jump in, we'll talk to Jeff Fisher about this and some Nashville Cat stuff as well coming up next.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sales tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
You know Kroll produces Huff's weekend show?
Oh, wait.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I forgot. I remember you talking to Robert about producing that weekend show.
Always makes us happy when Coach Jeff Fisher has the time to join the radio show. He's here with us now on 104.5 The Zone as I try to get my headphones situated. Fish, always good to chat with you. I know you are at owners' meetings, if I'm not mistaken, and you've got an AF1 title game on Saturday up there in Clarksville at F&M Bank Arena. I know you're fired up about.
We are fired up, and yes, we are. We got most all the markets are represented here. We just, it's kind of a postseason world championship, if you will, meeting with the owners, and we're having a good session. We're already well ahead into the next season, but yes, tomorrow 3:00. How about that? Albany Firebirds have won 2 out of the last 3 championships. They've been the team to beat. This year, the Nashville Cats ended up 12-1, and with a 1 seed, and so Clarksville is hosting the Arena Crown tomorrow at 3:00, like you said, at F&M Bank Arena, and I'm remaining neutral because I have one hand in the, as you know, in the Cats and another hand in the league. So, but this is really going to be a fun event, and we're really excited about what Clarksville's done up here, and the participation, the fan and attendance and everything has been just way more than what we anticipated. So big day tomorrow for AF1 in the indoor football world.
Coach Fish, what are you enjoying most from a football standpoint with the Arena League stuff? Like in terms of how the game is played and the departure from the outdoor football that we know, what is different about this version of football that you find yourself enjoying the most?
Well, I'd say it's the intimacy, the relationship between the player and the spectator, and the official and the spectator. I mean, during TV timeouts and after scores, players are walking over, shaking hands, slapping hands with the kids, and the spectators right all the way around the boards, and that's kind of why I got into it. I mean, I this game blessed me beyond imagination, so why not try to get back and help? And so, I got into it several years ago. Things weren't quite adding up, and so we decided to try to get into it and fix it. And, I've surrounded ourselves with really good people, and we got it fixed. And so we really have, I think, a bright future ahead for, AF1 and just the future of indoor arena football and the 50-yard game. It's different. I'm still learning it. But, I also have a pretty good understanding of, how to build organizations. And so we've been kind of lending a hand to some of our new markets that we'll be releasing here soon that are coming and joining the league next year. So it's just, and on top of that, it's all about the players. I mean, in any sport, it's about the players. And these are just great guys. They bend over backwards. They don't take anything for granted. And, they get league-wide now, the community involvement and all the things that are going on, really exciting. They just, they just want to go out and play and compete, and some of them hope that maybe somebody, somehow, some way, will make a phone call and invite them to an NFL camp. If not, they're content with coming back year after year as long as their bodies allow them to.
Coach Jeff Fisher, Titans legend, now working with AF1 Arena Football. You can go to NashvilleCats.com and get your tickets. They put on a show, man. 92-76 was the final score to advance the Cats to the Arena Football Championship. You can catch their game 3 p.m. Saturday in Clarksville at the F&M Bank Arena. Fish, I want to go back to something you said because we're the fan base here, the Titans fan base here, is having a bit of a hard day because they've had their mascot changed on them, and it speaks to a larger theme. The mascot, not important, obviously does not affect the football, but there's been a ton of changes to the football organization, to what they look like, how they're presented, and frankly, how the fan base identifies with them. That it feels like the mascot's just been kind of a straw on the camel's back type of situation today, as far as the callers and commenters have represented. I want to go back to what you said about your experience bringing along and building organizations, because obviously that's what you were tasked, you and everybody else that helped bring this thing over from Houston were tasked with doing back in the late 90s. And what you were able to successfully build. They seem, understanding that there are rebrands in sports and that these things happen, I wonder how much you relate to the plight of the fan base here, where there's a certain segment of Tennessee Titans fans that no longer can identify the football team that they grew up rooting for.
Well, I can appreciate that. I meet them every day in town, and they really appreciated was they appreciated the interaction. They appreciated the intimacy. When we, as we were preparing to move, and then during the move, and then after the move, we had caravans all over the state. They got to reach out, touch, and meet players, and get close to players, and a lot of events, that we had, and so they felt part of the team, and I think, just because of the change and everything, a lot of that group, that older demographic, they feel a little frustrated, if you will, but times change, things change, and just like you say, uniform. I didn't even know anything about the mascot. Did they identify a new one, or they?
Well, it's still T-Rac. They just changed what T-Rac looks like.
They gave him a makeover.
It's a makeover. It's like everything's
not sticking out anymore.
It's like everything else around here is getting a makeover.
Before I see it, I want you guys' opinion. Yes or no? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm out on it, but they look more generic than they ever have as a franchise, Fish, and I think that's kind of, and that's fine, because it's not like they haven't invested. Obviously, Amy's done a tremendous job investing into the football program, because you have to have both sides of this. So I don't want to, just knock down some of the stuff that she's trying to do that I disagree with versus the stuff that was absolutely essential to keep the football program on the right track and to keep this thing as an ascending property. It's just we've gotten a lot of feedback on this is not my football team anymore.
Well, I mean, it's highly unlikely that T-Rac's different color uniform is going to be a difference between winning the division and not winning the division. But you can see. I mean, I can understand people, the tradition, and this has been one way for so long. But I'll tell you what they have done is they've done an outstanding job. And we've talked about this before, putting this coaching staff together. Coach Sala has a great staff. All three coordinators are extraordinary. I say it over and over and over. I mean, I have such great respect for Brian Daboll and what he's done. And I think, if we just have a little bit of patience as this season starts to progress, you're going to see and reap the benefits of Brian Daboll and Cam's relationship. And then, of course, Gus running, the defense with Coach having a hand in it. And then, Coach, of course, everybody's favorite, Coach Fossil. There's nobody better than him in the league. So this is a group of coordinators and assistant coaches that understand they're all on the same page, and they're going to work professionally together. And you got to credit Amy at the top, and then the front office for making these hires, because I think finally we've got something here in town that can make a difference from a coaching perspective.
And we'll see it in action next Thursday, preseason game number 1 in San Francisco. Coach, did you have any objectives specifically to preseason game number 1 as opposed to 2, 3, or as it used to be 4?
Oh, yeah, there's always, yes, they're very, very specific. You want to get a lot of younger players in that you want to evaluate. You're going to, you didn't have the number of joint practices and those kind of things. So, you got to evaluate them at full speed environments and things like that. And then, of course, our philosophy was to get your starters the adequate number of reps weekly and build those reps up. And then at the end of the third preseason game, then you would go ahead and reduce them, in the final preseason game, in conjunction with the cuts. And then you got your guys at least ready for the regular season. I sometimes concerned about the lack of reps, the veteran players, and the increase in injuries in week 2, because what happens sometimes currently, in my opinion only, is that they don't get a chance. The veteran players don't get to relearn how to recover. And so recovery is such a huge part of each day in training camp, and the training camp experience as a whole, but also recovery after a 40, 50, 60 play game. And so that's something that hopefully there's a solution there. Hopefully people are doing the right things, but that'd be a concern of mine. But yes, you have a plan. Every time you go out and compete, you want to win, and sometimes you don't win the preseason games, but you want to put forth certainly a winning effort, and you have individual expectations with respect to all the players.
Coach Jeff Fisher here with us on 104.5 The Zone. He's heavily involved, of course, with the Arena Football League, the Nashville Cats back in action. NashvilleCats.com is where you can get your tickets. Their final game, their championship, is in Clarksville at the F&M Bank Arena. Tickets still available right now, so you can go see a very, very effective, highly successful Cats team in action against the Firebirds. 3 p.m. is the kickoff this Saturday. Coach, it's not lost on me that we are fortunate. We're always fortunate to have you visit, but this is also Coach Mac's birthday. We've talked a lot about Mac and memories, and I don't like doing on-air eulogies and stuff like that. I've been, you try to sit in the positivity as opposed to, just letting the bad feelings of not having that person in your life anymore wash over you. But it's always tough on a day like today, and we're grateful for you because I know a little bit of Coach Mac lives on through you, given how close you guys were throughout the course of your relationship.
Well, we really were, dating back to, the Chicago Bear days, and then, each one of his coaching stops, and there's eras in his life where, he touched so many people, and, considering the fact that he was here, had, 2 tours actually, one with me as an assistant head coach, and then he came back and just affected so many people in the organization with his, his radio career. And, he's like a brother to me, and will always be that. And, there's so many people came out, towards the end and in support of him and his fight. And, I just want and hope that we're able to carry on his legacy. Every year we talked about doing something, what it is. Mac cared about people. So let's go out and help some people in Mac's honor. But yes, I know I was aware it was his birthday, and appreciate you bringing it up. Special man, special friend, and for those that never got a chance to meet him in person, I guarantee you, had you had a 1-minute conversation with him, you'd have thought you knew him your whole lifetime. So he was that kind of man. And, even players, the players that got an opportunity to sit in his linebacker room and then, as he started moving around as assistant head coach, he'd sit in every position room. And yeah, he was just that great person and great friend and all the above that we just feel fortunate to have in our life.
Buddy, have fun on Saturday. We appreciate your time as always. Thanks for everything that you do with the Cats, with football, with the community, just generally, and making time for dopes like us. It's always good to catch up, Fish. Much love.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. God bless everybody. Happy birthday, Coach Mac, and my best to the Titans family as they prepare for the regular season.
That is Coach Jeff Fisher with us on 104.5 The Zone. Always good. When we can make some time to chat with Fish, and I know he's really enjoying the Arena Football League. Have you ever done an indoor football game or watched an indoor football game?
I used to go all the time as a kid.
The Cats games?
We moved from Nashville to Birmingham when I was 9, so we went to. I think were they the Bulls?
Maybe Barons, or was that the baseball team?
No, Barons is the baseball team.
Excuse me for not knowing enough about the. Well, Michael Jordan.
Only
played
Michael
for them.
Jordan played for him.
That's one that's probably worth knowing. 615-737-1045, the number. Fish brings up there the things that the Titans were doing at the onset of when they weren't an expansion franchise. They were the Houston Oilers. They don't do the Caravan anymore. Caravan went away. The Titans Caravan. That was a thing when I first got here, and I think they were still doing it with Mariota. Maybe COVID did away with the Caravan.
But yeah, like they in the late 90s probably felt more like an expansion team than what we're talking about now.
Yes.
No question.
Absolutely. So there was more of an emphasis, of course, to try and get a portion of the country that had not had an NFL football team necessarily. I'm sure there's Steelers fans and Cowboys fans in Nashville in the Middle Tennessee area, but to try and get them to identify with the new team with new branding that was coming here at the time in the late 90s. The Caravan was a huge part of it. You still have Titans fans talk about their great memories of getting to have those in-person interactions with players and with Coach Fisher, with Floyd Reese at the time, and a number of different people involved with the organization. And it's not like there's a lack of, I don't know, they do still do Titans in the community stuff on the players' day off from time to time. It's not like the community element of it has gone away or anything like that, but that may be of a different era, right? You may not, we just may not be doing things like that anymore in the modern day NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a good thing.
I know, like, Tennessee does the Big Orange Caravan, but that's, Heupel and Rick Barnes, there aren't players traveling around. The Titans are in the community, right? They're doing stuff at schools and meet and greets and all this stuff. But it is interesting, the parallels there. One thing I am curious about with the T-Rac rebrand specifically is the timing of it and how it's staggered. I wonder why. I'm genuinely curious why.
You think they forgot about him?
Why not do the T-Rac rebrand along with the logo and the uniforms and everything that they did at the Pinnacle back in, was it March? Because I remember us talking about it. It was like we were all thinking, is T-Rac going to survive the rebrand?
Well, you were thinking because you care about T-Rac.
I love T-Rac.
Yes.
And then he did. I was like, oh, thank God. I was worried sick about T-Rac. He made it.
And then they came for your boy.
And then right as camp gets started, it's like, oh, by the way, new T-Rac. So maybe that is also a part of why the reaction has been so just.
Well, it just felt like an add-on, right? Like, oh, we forgot to do this thing.
But
so.
I genuinely wonder why they did stagger it that way instead of just doing T-Rac with the logo and everything else.
I know they were having conversations about it like 6 months ago. I don't know how much in line or how necessary T-Rac was to be a part of the branding. I feel like the mascot should be, it's probably easier to do it in one fell swoop. And maybe there's some logic to the idea of, oh, they have the stadium practice. Maybe the fan base will like this today. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Titans fans, I don't think they're going to boo T-Rac when he comes out there or something like that. But I don't know. V-Love seems pissed. You see his tweets. He's talking about beating the new mascot in the street with baseball bats.
Cameron on the F&M Bank chat says, I still feel like they are the same team I grew up with. I love the two-tone blue, but all the rebrands don't bother me. And here's the thing.
I'm sure it's different for different people.
Yeah, it's different for different people. In 10 years, in 15 years, that's going to be people's Titans.
Oh, when they change it again?
No. I'm saying, like, what we see now is going to be, for people that are having kids that have little kids now that they're about to start taking to Titans games. When those kids get to high school, that's going to be the Titans that they know. That's kind of how this works.
I'm trying so hard to not make the very, very good point that Zach Lyons is going to make when his and Blaine's show starts about their constant change, leaving a void, essentially. But I'm going to refrain from doing that because I want Zach to make his own point because it was a very good one.
But just like people latched onto the Titans and the Fireball from the late 90s.
They latched onto
for the next couple of decades.
They latched onto a winner.
Of course they have to win
the
games.
Flaming Thumbtack, people were down on that, perpetually. It was a joke because it was your joke.
Yeah, it was
right?
ours. It was ours. Yeah. And yeah, it's not like the Flaming Thumbtack was like the Packer logo that it's untouchable. It's iconic. No, but it's ours. Right? That's how I always felt about it. But of course you have to build a winner to sort of fuel that attachment from fans. But just like fans got attached to the Fireball and the two-tone blue, helped by the winning at the early onset, if the Titans can stay on this trajectory and provide winning at the early onset of this rebrand, people are going to get attached to this version of the Titans. Like, that's just how this works, right? And we're going to forget about
how they suck. You better
of
win.
Course. Yeah, like that's what matters here is the football. At the end of the day, it all just comes back to the football. But we're going to forget how pissed we all were, and we're going to look back at the two-tone blue with nostalgia in 10, 15 years.
But this is a good point, Lucas. How long since their last rebrand?
2018.
8 years. 8 years enough time?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. They keep doing it.
Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
They keep doing it. 615-737-1045, the number. Last call for phone calls. We'll wrap this bad boy up for the week. Coming up next.
What's happening? What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sale tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
Okay, let's put a bow on it. 615-737-1045, the number. Lucas is off to Lobeville. Am I saying that right?
Lobeville.
I don't want to disrespect the good people of Lobeville. What else is in Lobeville other than the Buffalo River?
Not much. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. The McDonald's, maybe?
Oh, definitely a McDonald's.
A Hattie B's?
No, not a they are missing a Hattie B's.
No civilization, then. They need civilization, it seems. 615-737-1045. Last call for phone calls, like I mentioned. You also have the opportunity to chime in the F&M Bank chat if you want. T-Mac, that's not T-Rac, is it? T-Mac is calling us in Murfreesboro.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah, man. I'm like I said, I'm kind of aligned with everybody else. Like I just don't know what the heck the Titans are doing, man. This is not the team that I grew up, that I recognize. I don't like no two-tone blue. No, this is just, I don't know what they're doing, man. And I want them to have success, but kind of part of me feel like, man, if they won a Super Bowl in these colors and this uniform, like I would be happy, but I like I said, I just don't recognize this team. Man. And them changing the mascot, them changing the logo and the uniforms. I just, no more Navy is just crazy, man.
Thanks for the call. That can't be a popular opinion, that if they were to win the Super Bowl in these uniforms, that people would be like, yeah, that's nice, but that's not my team.
No, I wouldn't say that's the popular opinion. People just want to win, man. Just want to win.
For the players' sake, they need to win. Yeah. It's sad.
And to be clear, like the Titans rebranding is very different than if the Packers did, right? Or if
they're not in the same category.
The Eagles did.
How long have the Packers been around? 100 plus years.
That's what I'm saying. Like it is very apples
the
to
Eagles
oranges.
have done it, right? Kelly Green?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing.
Fair enough. No, it's not unique to the Titans, but maybe it is just how wholesale it is. That is maybe a bit of a shock to the system.
People in the comments section, some agreeing, some disagreeing. He says, I wouldn't give a bleep if we won a ring in these colors. That's one commenter on YouTube. Somebody says the opposite, criticizing the caller, saying, bros like, quote, I don't recognize them. What? LOL. Listen, they are not recognizable. Like, that is the Houston Oilers. I watch it practice on a daily basis. I do agree with him on that front. Now, they are still the Tennessee Titans by name. They are still the Tennessee Titans by ownership. They are still the Tennessee Titans at their core, and the Houston Oilers history is a part of the Titans history. So it's not black and white, right? There is some gray area to work in here. Ironically enough, they've changed T-Rac from brown to gray, which people are pushing back on. I thought he does look more like a raccoon than he ever has. Because you think the Barstool video had anything to do with this? I think the Barstool video came out before the T-Rac rebrand.
Oh, yeah.
Or, excuse me, I think the T-Rac rebrand was in the works before Barstool had that viral video going around, and nobody in their offices could guess, for a sports media company, allegedly, or identify what the Titans mascot was.
He does look more like an actual raccoon. Like, there's no question about that.
A little bit of panda to him now?
No. He looks like a raccoon. But like everything else, like old T-Rac was ours. Like, I love the goofy tongue sticking out. I love it. I love how weird it is and unusual and unique.
Just, who is it for? That's, again, my question. Who needed this? Who asked for this? Other than Kaharski, who wanted them to just get rid of the thing altogether. Okay, how about John in Nashville next?
Hey, guys. So, yeah, like Lucas, I grew up in the mid-'90s. I was born in 94. Here in Nashville, I used to force my mom to take me to any Titans event that I possibly could, whether it was the Caravan, the Kids Club. I was a member of that from the time that she could sign me up until the time that I aged out of it. And, I mean, I looked forward to getting all those monthly little goodies, from stickers to everything, from the Titans Kids Club with the old T-Rac and the old color scheme. But I got to say, I do love the Oilers colors. It's just so clean. It's one of the most beautiful uniforms in the NFL. But I do feel like back then, growing up, they did more in the community for the fans than they do now in today's time.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to something that I was thinking about. I don't know if I brought this up. Surely I brought this up with you, Lucas, the fact that the NFL is probably the only sport that the viewing experience, that they're marketing more to the people at home than they are to the people in the stands anymore. Like, they haven't completely, they're not like ignoring Gate, but Gate doesn't matter for their revenue the way that it used to.
Legitimately good and electric NFL environments to me, are far and few between.
There's like 5.
Yeah.
In the NFL, and that depends on who the opponent is.
Like a sort of bucket list, like, oh, you got to go to a game at this place. There's not that many in the NFL.
No, the NFL is what I fear if college football continues on whatever track it's on. What has happened to NFL environments is what I fear would happen to college environments to some extent. I don't think
that is the fear that it would bleed in a little bit, but I think there's too much there. There's too much tribalism and tradition.
But the NFL is the poster child for this is what happens when you let the corporate people take over your sport.
Well, sure, but here's the thing, though. Which of those environments still stand? Packers, because they've been around. That tribalism and tradition has been around.
Yeah, but what do the Packers have that nobody else has? Fan input.
Yeah, sure, but
it's
we
a
can keep
fan-run
going.
organization.
Right. Chiefs, right? Like we're talking about legacy. Like who else comes to mind? Buffalo. Like when you think about the best environments in the NFL, it's the most college football-esque markets. Green Bay, Buffalo, these little towns in New York State and in Wisconsin. So,
yeah, where it's the only game in town. I mean, I know the Sabres got in the mix this year and had a bit of a run for the first time in God knows how long. But
that's why, to me, like I don't have that fear right now for college football that something like that would happen.
Yeah, I just think they don't have to market to you as the in-person fan as much as they used to, because the at-home fan, the television fan, matters more. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way that the business has shaped up. 615-737-1045. John is in Mount Juliet. A lot of calls.
Hey, guys. So, yeah, I'm confused as to why these old heads keep calling in and they're like, man, these aren't my Titans. Well, your Titans are terrible in every facet. They've sucked, and nobody cares about the Titans. Everything needed to be changed. Obviously,
everything needed to be changed?
What needed to stay, Buck?
Why does the mascot need to be changed? Why does the uniforms need to be changed? I mean, do they need to rebrand every 8 years? Like all this other ancillary stuff that isn't actual football. I get the decision, but then the business people got involved with the football, and you end up with Rand Carthon, Chad Brinker, and Ted Lasso.
First of all, 8 years ago, it wasn't really a full rebrand. They got new uniforms.
Brother.
And it was ugly. But when I take my kids to the Titans practice this afternoon, they've never been to a Titans event before. I'm ready to show them the future, something new, because what I've had to deal with for the past 20 years living in New England as a Titans fan has been torture. I'm hoping they don't have to go through that, and they can start with a brand new logo and uniform and mascot. I don't really even like the mascot, but I really just don't care. Like, everything needed to change. Maybe the mascot isn't necessarily something that needed to change, but, if you're changing everything else, just change everything. And hopefully they win, and everyone will say,
yeah, that's at the end of the day.
Oh, awesome, but they probably won't because they're the Titans.
I mean, I don't know. Now, growing up in New England, that's a whole other thing. Like, you
have a particularly tortured experience
with
John.
The Patriots. That's fair. But
and also, when your kids go today and they're a different looking team in 8 years from now, when their next rebrand comes around, what are they going to tell their friends? I don't know.
But this thing about Titans needed to change everything because all they did was lose for 20 years is revisionist history. Yes, the last couple of years have been rough. Last 4 years.
Until the Bengals pantsed them here at Nissan Stadium in 2021. The Titans were one of the 4 best teams in the AFC.
But
the
even
Titans
back,
organization cratered that single-handedly.
Even going back, man,
they are not the Jets. They're not the Browns. Now they're talked about that way, but that's of their own making. So don't give me this revisionist history crap where you've just now found yourself these last 4 years in the basement dweller category of the NFL. You weren't that. They made you that, and now they're trying to find ways to dig themselves out of that.
Like the revisionist history of it's just never been fun to be a Titans fan.
Stupid.
13-3 in 08, I think it was fun. CJ 2K was fun. Derrick Henry was fun.
Every
Going
Derrick
to the Super
Henry
Bowl.
game was fun.
Yeah, no, that's the stuff that suddenly you get dragged into that Jets-Browns discussion.
You didn't talk trash to the New England fans when your team went up there and ended Tom Brady's career?
Mm-hmm.
I covered that game. You didn't talk trash to Patriots fans when you went up there and beat Lamar Jackson as the number 1 overall seed in the AFC and then went to the AFC Championship game? Come on. Can't believe I'm the one giving positivity about who they've been. What, are we done?
Time to go.
You want to be done? Okay. We have more callers, but that's fine. We've got more shows. Blaine and Zach have you covered. 3HL after that. 3HL is going to be at the stadium, so you can chime in with them. Maybe I'll even stop by. We'll be at the practice tonight. If you're going to the practice, hope you stay cool, stay hydrated, have a great time. And we'll keep this thing rolling when we get back next week.